to talk about?
I hope so. Hey, Evan.
What's up? We're back.
We're back for the 142nd time. My cup of tea, all because of one Spike Lee joke.
Thank you, Spike Lee. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Or maybe we would under a different name.
Maybe the horror podcast would have happened.
Maybe 2025, new year, new podcast. You never know. But we're back, and it's been a hectic week in movie news in terms of the Oscars finally came out. You've now seen a lot of the Oscar nominees, which is very interesting, very fun. So we got a lot of movies to talk about.
On that topic, an interesting thing that I was elated to see for the first time again, Evan, in 6 years pre-pandemic, AMC theaters are bringing back their Best Picture showcase.
Okay.
2-day marathon event. Half of the nominees one day, half of the other, both on Saturdays. The second one being the day before the Oscars themselves. Yay.
That's great. I mean, I didn't know it's been 6 years. I remember when we first met, you were going to that. Has it been 6 years?
I went to 2018 and 2019. I was like, this is great. I can't wait to keep doing this every year. What happened?
Yeah, and then 2018, 2019. Okay, and then 2020 pandemic makes sense. That's why it's not there.
Yeah.
2021 theaters are still recovering, so they probably hasn't issued it yet.
Relatively speaking, all like long form events just kind of stopped for a while.
Yeah, I'm shocked that 2022 or 2023 didn't bring it back, and is that 2025? Even last year they didn't have it. That's kind of shocking. Yeah. But I like how
they never have the Netflix nominees as well, which
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they? It's like,
oh no, I don't have to watch Amelia Perez.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a theater, I wouldn't show any Netflix or like. Did they show Killers of the Flower Moon, the Apple one?
Well, they didn't do it.
Oh, they didn't do it, but like I wouldn't show
that released in theaters, like theatrically.
Well, sure, but yeah, for some of these, I wouldn't show like streamers because I'm like just watch the streaming thing at home. But most of the other ones like can't stream it. But yeah, I've now seen all the Oscar nominees besides the new ones that got surprised for Best Picture with I'm Still Here and Nickel Boys. I didn't expect those to be nominated. Well, I Nickel Boys was a 50-50. But I'm Still Here was a shock to like 99% of voters. So I did not see that one yet. But it's coming to theaters February 7th, at least where I'm at, Ohio. So nice. I got that to look forward to. Nickel Boys is out in theaters, but it's a commitment. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's not playing in the theater close to me. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing. I want to go see Nickel Boys. I want to support it, but it's also like, hey, I hear it's an MGM Amazon movie. Could I just catch it on Amazon Prime eventually before the Oscars on March, 6th, 7th, whatever? So we'll have to wait and see for Nickel Boys. But yeah, I have seen a lot of the Oscar nominees, and we got a decent crop, solid crop, I would say, of Oscar movies. But yeah, overall, we got some new news to talk about. Let's jump into one of my most favorite news of the week. Robert Eggers, last podcast we talked in length about what we loved about Nosferatu.
Yeah,
was it our last podcast? I think it was.
It was. Yeah.
So spoiler alert: we loved Nosferatu, and Eggers has cemented himself as a Christmas, juggernaut per se. Nosferatu has made like $166 million worldwide on like a $50 million budget. So great success for Focus Features. And Focus Features is now producing Eggers' next movie next Christmas called Werewolf, about a werewolf in 13th century. I think it's London. Maybe I'm just making up the London part, but like it's 13th century. It's a historical werewolf movie, and that's super exciting. I'm like, whoa! Like we got vampire, we got like mermaids in Lighthouse, we got witches with The Witch. And now we got Vikings, and now we're getting a werewolf movie. This is great. And we already know he wrote like this Arthurian knight kind of movie that he was discussing during the press tour. So Eggers is constantly like turning them out historical horror or genre movies. This is super exciting, getting a werewolf movie so recently after, we both have seen now Wolfman. So interesting. A lot of werewolves.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this. I'm excited to see his turn on the genre with the werewolves. Just knowing his gothic aesthetic for horror is super enticing for like the imagery he's going to be going for. I cannot wait to see that.
Me too. And I'm curious to see where we go with this werewolf. Funny enough, Nosferatu ended up being, as we all wanted, like a gothic romantic kind of movie in terms of like Thomas and what was her name? Helen? I don't know. Romantic thing there, but then also Nosferatu, kind of like his parasitic love for the main actress there, for Lily Rose Depp as well. So it was a very romantic, gothic, fantastic movie. I wonder if we're going to get that kind of gothic, romantic lens in a werewolf movie. For all the vampire fuckers out there, there's a lot more, I would argue, furries out there.
You could just, have the encompassing monster lover branch.
Yeah, the monster lovers out there are going to have a great time probably with werewolves. I wonder, like, are we going like gnarly, full-on werewolf? Spoiler alert, for people who have not seen Wolfman. It's not a huge spoiler, but like, we didn't get full werewolf in Wolfman from Lee Winnell this month. I wonder how much he's going to go here. Knowing how far he went with Count Orlok / Nosferatu, I'm hoping he goes full on for, werewolf design, a big monstrous design, even though I have no idea what the plot will entail.
Yeah. I still haven't seen The Northman. I really need to. But in regards to, when I see the other films here, The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Nosferatu, there's always like that central theme of the main protagonist, like having that pull toward something nefarious and wanting to, whether it's like uncovering it or trying to understand it or wanting to be a part of it. This seems to be like a continuous theme of these stories. So I wonder if that will be implemented again in this werewolf film.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think it probably will be, because in the aspect of it being like a curse, like feeling those wolf desires, right, overtake your humanity.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, are we gonna get like a family? Are we gonna go the family route here in terms of the character dynamics, or we can get like a romantic lens? I'm very curious. I trust Eggers completely, and man, 2026. I know it's January in 2025. I'm going like full on. I can't wait till next year. But 2026, it just bears repeating. Like we could, if we talked about what's it called? WB / what's the Dune producers called again? WB
Legendary.
And Legendary. Yeah, Legendary might have locked down Dune Messiah for next December as well, if that release date holds. Currently, off the top of my head, I think we have I know Ice Age 6 is next holiday corridor. I don't know. I think Shrek is in the next summer. I'm not sure. But Ice Age 6 is going to be big. But yeah, Dune Messiah could be like a big December release there. And if we get Dune Messiah and this next werewolf movie, that's going to be incredible. So yeah, next year we get Ice Age December 18th, Shrek in December, Werewolf Christmas Day, Jumanji December 11th, and then possibly Dune Messiah sometime in December, even though there's no official release date. So yeah, 2026 looking great for us genre lovers with the return of Jordan Peele as well next October. So looking forward to it. Can't go wrong with Robert Eggers, and the guy probably needs a break, but I wouldn't mind getting a Christmas themed horror movie or a horror movie every Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so awesome. In other movie news, Nathan, as her thumbnail entailed, Kaitlyn Dever, Abby herself, is joining Godzilla X Kong. I think she's playing Mothra. I'm kidding. That was a joke, guys.
I'm not frozen. But yeah, she's joining. We don't really know much more beyond that.
Yeah.
Join the Monsterverse.
Not much to say there. Was Millie Bobby Brown in the last one?
No,
she wasn't. Right? It was just who were the main characters in the last one? It was Rebecca Hall and
Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Dan Stevens.
That's what I was like. I feel like there's some like British or somebody. Yeah. So it was like Dan Stevens, Rebecca Hall, kind of like the two main people. Then the daughter character played a bigger role. Yeah. I forget her name. But then it was more monster centric than any of the monster films before. Godzilla, X Kong, The New Empire. So there was a lot that went down in the last movie. You know, presumably we're gonna get more of the what's the upside down world called again?
Hollow Earth.
We're gonna get more Hollow Earth, presumably, but no idea. We always try and theorize the villains, but we're getting a human casting so early, which is very fun. Obviously, because they're gonna be filming this year, so it can come out next year, probably next March.
Do we know who else is in this cast for this movie?
Not at all. Kaitlyn Dever is all we know so far, but you know, I don't think Rebecca Hall is like a actual mother outside of just taking care of the deaf girl. So
I mean, she is adopted.
Does she have a daughter in the movie?
No, not biologically.
Oh, besides her. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, I was wondering if Kaitlyn Dever is going to be related to Rebecca Hall, or is it like a new cast in general? They could just start a whole new saga for all we know. I don't know how many more movies are going to go for this franchise. I thought it was going to end 3 movies ago, but we keep on rolling.
It keeps rolling. I'm happy about that. I wouldn't mind seeing Dan Stevens back. He was quite funny.
He was hilarious. Was that his first role in this franchise? Yeah, because last time it was Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård, who was like kind of like the male lead in Godzilla versus Kong, and then it was Dan Stevens, and now we don't know who else. You know, to be honest, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Kaitlyn Dever take over like as the central character. That'd be kind of fun. Bring back the kid again. I forget her name. She's not a kid anymore, right? She's probably very much a kid.
She's like 12.
Oh, is she still like? Wasn't she 12 when
She was like pretty young in Godzilla Kong. She's in grade school, but it's got to be like middle school max.
Let's see here: Godzilla, X Kong, A New Empire.
The character Gia.
She's not even in the. There he is. Oh, I was like, she's not even in the cast. She's the first one here. She's 17 now.
What? Well, they film movies like 2 years in advance, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, she was like 12 in the first one. There's a versus Kong. And that was like
not what she's in college.
And now she's gonna be like 18, 19. Wow, he would be going fast. But yeah, she could still be the main character, I hope. And then we just see Kaitlyn Dever. I'm going crazy, guys. But do you think we see Brian Tyree Henry? I think they've kind of ran out of room for his character in these movies.
You think, but people keep laughing.
I don't know why. He's so not funny.
He's funny sometimes.
It's like he's like 30, 70. 30 good jokes, 70 bad jokes.
He's sometimes funny, and Brian Tyree Henry himself is funny.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
But Dan Stevens definitely stole the show last time, I think. So
I agree.
You should definitely get him back. And I feel like he's doing good, popping up in different things. You know, he had Abigail the past year as well. That was pretty fun. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't even a human villain last time, which is different.
No, yeah. This was full on that one orangutan.
Scar King.
Thank you. I was like, I have no idea what it's called.
They keep giving me new monsters to learn, and I'm like, can you just tap the old one? Can you just pay Toho, please?
So the only other details we got with this casting is that sources tell Deadline that while Kong and Godzilla will still be fronting the film, obviously it's called Godzilla X Kong, Legendary is looking to build on its human characters, which is interesting. And the first choice they landed on was Dever, who was a star on the rise. She now joins the franchise as it combines character-driven storytelling with the signature epic scale and Titan clashing action. So yeah, the next entry will feature several new human characters alongside Godzilla X Kong as they face off against a world-ending threat. Was there any tease for the next world-ending threat?
No, there was not. It was pretty open-ended. Kong is now an official king, but we still can't say it. but he is a ruler of his people now, and Godzilla's taking a nap in the Coliseum.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole gag. That was weird. It was cool. Yeah. I do remember one thing I think all the fans noted after seeing Godzilla X Kong was this was very much a Kong movie, right? Wasn't that the consensus? Like it was very much a Kong movie, even though it was Godzilla X Kong. It was Kong, and then they needed to find Godzilla.
Arguably, so was Godzilla versus Kong. Like Kong was framed as more of a protagonist. Godzilla was more villainous.
Yeah, we were like, "What's going on with Godzilla? Why is he killing people?" Then we realized it was a.
We don't know why.
We don't know why. Yeah. So then Godzilla had to come in and they fought, but then he came in as a central character towards the third act. So hopefully this go around. What?
A lot of focus on Kong with the two.
Exactly.
Now both of those were done by Adam Wingard, who I believe stated he's not doing the third one.
I didn't look that up. Let me see real quick.
I believe that was the last update we had there. Which I'd be intrigued to get a fresher take going on. I like Kong, I do, but I would like to see some more Godzilla spotlight again.
Yeah, we talked about this director, Grant Sputore, Sputore. I remember talking about him in one of our show notes, months ago, but I don't remember what he did.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Let's see here. He did. It can't be him.
Tell me.
He did like 3 movies. He's like I Am Mother, The Furnace, We Bury the Dead. I've never heard of any of these movies.
Is this a Gareth Edwards, John Watts situation?
Is he doing Godzilla? He is. I wonder what the sources say he's done.
Okay, I mean,
Spooter comes from the world of commercials and as a features director helmed the sci-fi movie I Am Mother, starring Hilary Swank. Oh, it was a Netflix 2019 movie. No wonder I never heard of it. I was like, what the fuck is that movie?
New name. Netflix. We don't get established people anymore, Evan. We just people who will bend for the studio.
What's up with that? I put it in my Hyperspace hype show notes, but we got like a new writer for the Ray movie. And he's not a nothing director. He's not a nothing writer.
No, what was it? He did The Bourne Ultimatum and Ocean's 12. 12 exactly. Specifically.
Which is my favorite, but like I do love the Bourne movies. The Bourne Ultimatum actually is my favorite Bourne movie. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I love Bourne Ultimatum.
I have to revisit those.
Yeah, they're great movies. It's just weird. It's weird. We live in a state where the MCU specifically, and now the Godzilla universe, a lot of these franchises are getting like newer writers / directors on board. DCU, not so much. I think DCU is pretty much getting established people having fun.
Which is fair.
So far, which is fair. Exactly. They're starting out.
But yeah. With this, I'll be excited to see like how we go for a fresh take. I don't know who's writing. That's also a maybe analyze in the upcoming time. But I would hope that we get a bit more Godzilla feature. While I was appreciative that they were able to get rights for Mothra in the last movie, they kind of just put her in because they got the okay, because they had a whole different monster created and ready to go. That was like a flying type of monster, but then they got the license.
I forgot Mothra came back in this movie. That was a thing.
Yeah, and then they attached her to like like a deep lore with the people underground, and I was like, that's never been in Mothra's lore.
We haven't done that commentary, right?
Not yet.
For that one. That's the only Godzilla one we haven't done. Did we do Godzilla X Kong, the first?
We did Versus.
We did Versus, and then it was this New Empire, and now it's okay. Just checking.
Now Godzilla Plus One.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the writer that you mentioned, we did talk about this because I remember freaking out. It was a guy who wrote Shang-Chi and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So,
okay,
we're in good hands. Dave Callahan.
Are you in good hands?
Nice. So nice, Dave Callahan. So the director might be, interesting, but how do you mess up a Godzilla movie? So I mean, you can easily, but like,
how do you make it fun?
Exactly, and I think Adam Wingard got the whole fun, crazy angle to it. I think
he went full blown Showa era, which I respect.
Yeah.
I'll be intrigued to see. Like, I would like to get back to a bit more of the Godzilla and King of the Monster tone that the Monsterverse kicked off with, or even Monarch.
Monarch I think is a very Monarch I think follows closely the tone of Godzilla 2014 and King of the Kong Skull Island.
I would
even Kong Skull Island was very goofy though.
It's goofy, but it's also has such a style to it that it all molds pretty good. But honestly, like, with how well developed the best developed characters in the Monsterverse come from the Monarch show, you should really pull some to use.
I agree. They probably don't want to, canon and timeline. I'm not sure where that all fits because as of right now, Monarch season 2.
They're in 2017 right now.
Yeah, which is it's such a weird show. I remember we were getting a Monarch show. I didn't expect it to be that weird with 2 different storylines in the same show, and now they're only like in the past.
We're only like post the first Godzilla movie and first Kong movie, but that was in the 70s.
So Monarch season 2 has to be coming out this year, right? Were they filming last year? I think last October they started filming.
I think so.
When are we getting Monarch season 2? What's up, Team Forward? Is that the girl from Last Man Standing? It is. Kaitlyn Dever was Tim Allen's daughter.
Was she?
Last Man Standing. If I'm not mistaken, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kaitlyn Dever was one of the daughters. I only found that out because I'm a huge Kaitlyn Dever fan, and I scoured the internet for anything she's been in, and I was like, oh, the Tim Allen show that my mom watched for a few, months there. We quit watching it.
Okay. I mean, I pulled this from I pulled the image from No One Will Save You, which is great.
Which is a great movie. Yeah. So Kaitlyn Dever, her best films, arguably, No One Will Save You.
Booksmart.
Booksmart. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say Booksmart. I was thinking of Edge 17, but yeah, Booksmart. She was
a good double feature.
Romeo and Juliet film. I think it might just be called Juliet on Hulu. But she was great in that. But yeah, Kaitlyn Dever is always great. She was on this TV series called Dope Smart or Dope something. It was a very unsettling, hard to watch show about like the pharmaceutical industry and the again, unsettling things that happened with like the opium epidemic. That wasn't great. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any other Kaitlyn Dever great stuff here.
She's in my pre-movie trailer ads for hotels.
Yeah. Is she?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, she was in that one rom-com with Julia Roberts and George Clooney called Ticket to Paradise that I watched just for her. Nice. Everybody else came for Julia Roberts and George Clooney. I came for Kaitlyn Dever.
I didn't know she was in it. You're just telling me on everybody. But yeah, in regards to this project of the next Godzilla, so it's expected to come out next year, probably, right?
I think so, right? Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, so I'm just hoping we can get a bit more balance with Godzilla. We kind of gave Kong a pseudo son with the character Suko. I'm still waiting on my son of Godzilla because there's been multiple iterations of Godzilla having a son, and I really want them to do that for the Monsterverse.
Yeah. Do you think they'll do that? Or they're going to use the new like orangutan from this movie as his son?
Not as Godzilla, certainly not.
But, we think Godzilla. Okay.
Yeah. And I know it's like a big stipulation that like Toho doesn't ever really want to kill off good guy running Godzilla, especially when he's being licensed out to America. But it's a really good situation that if you want to have an emotional moment with the Godzilla we've been following, but also still having Godzilla existing for the status quo of the monster journey, have him have a son, have the son take the place, have the emotional sacrifice of the OG Godzilla we've been following for over 10 years now. It would be great.
That'd be what's it called? Dark.
It's the plots of one of like the best regarded Godzilla movies that they've made in the past.
Oh. But okay, let's go over to some Marvel movie news. Doctor Strange 3 is in the works. We knew that was happening. But, Benedict Cumberbatch is doing press because he's at Sundance right now doing a movie called crap. No, I lost it. Oh, what was the movie called? Shoot. But he Benedict Cumberbatch is doing like this psychological horror movie for Sundance. Short aside, I was trying to get some Sundance tickets. The online tickets are $35 per ticket, guys. $35 per ticket. That's
per screener?
Per screening, yeah.
You gonna record?
There was like 4 movies. I woke up this morning. I'm like, okay, it's day 2 of Sundance. What are the major movies? And there's like 4 movies. The 4th one called Twin List that I was looking at starred Dylan O'Brien and is having like a good reception. I'm a huge Dylan O'Brien fan. I was at my cart. I was going to pay for it. Sold out. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Is it a matter of like, is it like a link that you can watch whenever you want, or do you have to tune in at a certain time for like a stream?
It's whenever we want, but it ends. So like it opens January 30th, and we got to watch it by February 2nd. So we have like 3 days or next weekend to watch it.
Oh wow! You can watch it as much as you want.
I don't know as much as we want. But I mean, you can play it whenever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really rewatch movies. So I think it will be fine. But yeah, so there's like 3 movies. I think I'll just, I can dish out $100 to look at 3 to 4 movies.
I will dish out a little less at the Best Picture Showcase to watch 8.
Nice.
12 hours each day.
That's.
They have a built-in like hour dinner break.
That's good. Hey, here's a dinner break. Pay for our expensive movie theater food.
Right. Cool throwback when I did the Star Wars marathon for Force Awakens. They actually like brought in like donuts. I think that was just like courtesy of the workers though, because it was just Krispy Kreme donuts. That wasn't for sale.
That was cool.
Free to have. But then also, we're buying concessions for 7 movies, 24 hours in there.
I miss seeing Star Wars movies. That was good old days.
Remember? Do you remember 77?
Yeah, so Benedict Cumberbatch was asked about, the next Avengers movie. It's filming this year. So he said he won't appear in Doomsday. I don't have the exact quotes. I just have my show notes.
Liar!
He won't appear in Doomsday, but will possibly be in Secret Wars. I want to get that exact quote because I don't know if that was confirmed or not. I don't know why he would confirm that. But that's kind of the main tagline. He says he's excited for Doctor Strange 3, and he's not sure if he will be in Doomsday, but he will be in Secret Wars. I don't know if that's that quote or not. I'm going to look that up right now. But Nathan, what do you think about this news here? About Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange 3, not in Doomsday, will be in Secret Wars. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. What? I was thinking. I literally was like, "Fuck! What are my thoughts?" Because you gotta follow the flow of the release of these projects, right? So we're get Doctor Strange 3 in between the Avengers films.
Would there be time? Let's see. Doctor Strange 3 or Doomsday is May 2026. Spider-Man is July 2026. I don't know if there's a November 2026 Marvel movie yet. Not sure.
I don't know, but because
it could happen.
It feels because if you're setting his project, he's about to film Doctor Strange 3, or he's about to.
Okay, I found it. The person at Variety is interviewing him. So he says, "You see, he just told me that Doctor Strange is taking a hiatus in the next Marvel sequel, 2026's Avengers Doomsday. Quote, is that a spoiler?" He asked. Fuck it. Undeterred, he shares what things changed when Jonathan Majors, whose character Kang was intended to serve as the main antagonist. He didn't say anything else. Let me see. He says, Cumberbatch's absence from Doomsday has to do with the character not aligning with this part of the story. And though he probably shouldn't be saying this, he also reveals that Doctor Strange is in a lot of Avengers Secret Wars, which will hit theaters in 2027. He's quite central to where things might go, Cumberbatch teases. And he also hints that the character last seen casting spells in 2022's Multiverse of Madness will appear in a third standalone movie, but is hesitant to say too much beyond praising Marvel for being collaborative. He says they are very open to discussing where we go next. Who do you want to write? Who do you want to direct the next one? What part of the comic book lore do you want to explore so that Strange can keep evolving? He's a very rich character to play. He's complex, contradictory, troubled human who's always got these extraordinary abilities, so there's potent stuff to mess about with. And that's about it in terms of Marvel. So yeah, okay. He blatantly says, fuck it. He's not in Doomsday.
Okay, so he says he's not in Doomsday. He says they are going to do Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah.
So this kind of levels out in 3 different ways, right? Because where we left off with Doctor Strange, he met up with Clea, and they're going to go investigate incursions that he's being accused of causing one, and that they're going to go off to fix it. Which kind of
how do you cause one?
Well, the whole Multiverse of Madness event.
Oh, okay, got it. Chasing through different. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're off to do that, and you would expect them to be experts on the subject. So if you were to have Doctor Strange 3 come out before either of these Avenger films, which I don't think is going to happen, that would be ideal to get the idea rolling to like, okay, we've already sort of established incursions, but we could like really get into the meat of like, shit, here's what's happening. This is bad. How can we fix one? But they're not going to be doing that. However, if you were to set into motion the events of Doomsday and we have the incursion start and everyone freaking out, what's going on? What can we do? And then Strange comes in from learning from his adventure for Doctor Strange 3. If it's in between the Avengers films, he could come in and is like, okay, now that I've dealt with my side of the universe, having the ramifications from the previous film, I can help my fellow Avengers tackle what we need to get done in Secret Wars. But if Doctor Strange 3 isn't until after Secret Wars, then that would insinuate that they'll figure out incursion stuff more off-screen or during the beginnings of Secret Wars, and then Doctor Strange 3 is a whole random other type of adventure.
I'm with the latter. I think he's looking for incursions. Doomsday happens. Secret Wars happens where, again, he says he has a lot to do in Doomsday. It could be like, oh, I've learned so much with Clea. Clea could possibly be in Secret Wars. And then in Doctor Strange 3, it's a completely original new idea post Secret Wars. Which would be interesting because Secret Wars, if we believe Secret Wars to be as crazy and as world-changing, changing up the status quo, introducing X-Men, if it's going crazy, then that would be a good tie-in to like Doctor Strange to explore this new era in Marvel. It's these new realities. Even though I think we're going to be donezo with the multiverse stuff after Secret Wars, Doctor Strange 3 can still talk about different magic craziness. Hopefully we go back to that personal story that I really loved in the first Doctor Strange.
pretty much both films have like a central theme of love for Steven. And he's currently in the point where he has to, pick himself up and move on from the relationship that didn't work out. Now Clea's here, who in the comics does become his wife in the future, so it'd be nice to see that relationship build.
I forgot they are married in the comics. We could have a good love story. What's up, OG 55? I just had a great podcast with OG and this other guy called Tones, where we discussed 2025's Disney slate on Thursday. So go check that out as well. Nice. But yeah, that's very appealing to me, because I think the romance between him and Rachel, in both the first Doctor Strange and the second Doctor Strange, was very interesting to me. Even though I don't love Doctor Strange 2, I like what you said, but it's about, loving Steven, this loss of love as well. So him and Clea, because they're not going to have time to be like, have any major character arcs in Secret Wars. I'm not expecting a lot there.
I mean, you could, because I think like a really good sense of building Steven's character arc was seeing different variants of himself and the different paths they went down, and because of the decisions they've made. And Secret Wars is an opportunity for basically every character to have an introspective look on different paths. I would love for there to be variants of majority of our characters to have that self-reflection, because the whole crux of it is built off of, here's Doom, the guy that looks like Iron Man, the one who saved everybody killing Thanos, and now he's a villain. What a turn of the mental process, right?
So that could be very interesting. You're right. Yeah. And I say that, and I think the character arcs in Endgame, which we all thought going into Endgame, like, this is going to be a packed movie. What are they going to do with Endgame? And there was a lot of there's more in-depth character arcs in Endgame than there are in Infinity War. So if it follows the same trajectory, we can get a lot of interesting character arcs in a big movie. As much as Secret Wars is going to be, we can still get some worthwhile character arcs from Strange. But that being said, again, I think we're going to get some bigger stuff in 3, which is most likely going to be after his movie. I just clarified the release dates. So it's funny, 2026 and 2027 have very similar release dates, I think. So 2026, we're looking at May, July, and November. May and July are Doomsday and Spider-Man. November is blank because Blade was removed from next November. So 2026 November is currently blank. Hopefully Shang-Chi 2, if they're smart. Anywhere, please.
Wreckage of Time.
Not Wreckage of Time, please.
Well, that left with Kang probably, so.
That toy ass tagline, subtitle.
A tie-in video game.
But 2027 is the same thing. May 27th, 2027 is Secret Wars, which is weird. Usually it's the first week in May. But anyways, and then it's July 23rd, and then it's November 5th, all in 2027. So Doctor Strange 3 could be July 2027 or November 2027, going back to that November release date for Doctor Strange. So yeah, either way, very exciting possibilities there for Benedict Cumberbatch. So yeah, I always do find it funny when people are like, when he's obviously promoting this very, very indie movie at a place called Sundance, and people are always like, "So Marvel, what's going on?" It's like, God, geez.
Yeah. All right, get out now.
Yeah, exactly, right. Just get it out now. You can't
sport about it.
But he's gonna be going on a decade, right? By the time Doctor Strange 3 comes out, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, his first movie is 2016. It's 9 years ago.
Wow.
9 years ago, come November.
Mm-hmm. So that's exciting. That's exciting for the world of Marvel. You know me, I'm a huge Shang-Chi fan, so I hope they get Shang-Chi in here for a hopefully he's a major character in Doomsday still. Probably not, but hopefully he's still a major character in Doomsday.
He's had direct contact with Wong, Bruce Banner, and Carol Danvers.
Yeah,
so
we know Carol's going to be major. I'm assuming Carol and what's it called, Anthony Mackie are going to be like the captains, literally.
Sam.
But I want my Shang-Chi, I want my goat.
Right.
That being said, that's about it for the Marvel news for today. I want to mention this exciting cast that finally got announced, Children of Blood and Bone. I'm very excited for this. This African supernatural movie that was supposed to be done by Lucasfilm way, way, way back when they first, I think, got the rights. I think this is the same movie.
This was
it was
the
going to be
2020 announcement. The
remember
investor,
that?
right?
Yeah, it was going to be done by I think it was Rick Famuyiwa for a minute there, but they sold the rights to Paramount because Disney/Lucasfilm couldn't crack the script. It went to Paramount, directed and written by Gina Prince Bythewood, who's done some great movies. She's the one who did Woman King, I think. So the great Amanda Stenberg was officially announced this past week on Monday.
Nice.
Damson Idris, Tosin Cole, Thuso Mbidu, who was also the main character in Woman King, the main young woman warrior. And she voices Annette in Castlevania Nocturne, which everybody should be watching. She voices Annette on that show. She is a fantastic bender of iron and stone. So yeah, this called Children of Blood and Bone, coming out January 15th, which I don't love, coming out in 2027. It's weird. Next year, we're getting the Avatar movie, Last Airbender movie. Avatar Aang, finally coming to movie theaters in January 2026. And I'm like, January just has like this, bad connotation to it. Like you get bad movies in January. So I don't know why we're getting these big major movies in January.
I mean,
hopefully they just
is that still like it's the case though? Because like there's bad movies all year.
True, very true. But most of the time, like for example, this month it's been pretty decent. Not great. I haven't seen a great movie.
Is it more so the example is that there's rarely a good movie in January? Is the thing?
That's a better way to phrase it. Sorry, Nathan, Mr. English grammar Nazi over here.
It's okay. Take your sick day and you'll feel better.
Thank you very much. Thuso Mbidu, Amanda Stenberg, and for some reason I saw some controversy over Amanda Stenberg again. For some dumb reason, apparently she's not like dark skin, black. It's one of those unfortunate, idiot social media stuff. I don't really believe it. I don't. Yeah, I can't speak. Go ahead and speak on it, Nathan. Say something. And cancel. Okay. I mean, I saw a little bit of it. I haven't read the book. I don't know, I can't speak. I guess I can't speak on it either. I just feel like, let the movie speak for itself. I think most of these people were cast for the right reasons. We don't know what role they'll be playing. But yes, action fantasy film based on the classic YA novel. So Thuso Mbidu will play Zelly, a young woman living in a fantasy African kingdom who embarks on a quest to reclaim the magic that was violently stolen from her people by the ruthless King Sauron. Not Sauron from Lord of the Rings, Sauron, Saran, Sauran, I don't know.
And certainly not Saruman.
Exactly. The story follows Zelly and her older brother, who is played by Idris Cole, as they form an alliance with the king's daughter, played by Stenberg, and the son, Prince Inan, played by Idris, not Idris Elba, to fight back against his brutal rule. I think this just sounds incredible. I've always wanted to read this effing book, but my book backlog is like 20 stacks deep, guys. It's crazy. I told myself this year that I'm going to be reading so many more books, and I am. I already read like 2 books, and we're only towards the end of January. So
Look at you. 90 minutes to impact. No progress.
Nobody understands that.
Look what will you become? Fucking
so yeah, I'm very happy for Gina. She did Woman King, but she also did some other movies that I can't specifically name right now. But I think she's just a very strong director. She said, "I'm so honored to bring Children of Blood and Bone and its vibrant world to life. This is where our magic lies," she said. So yeah, I'm very excited. This is a trilogy, I think. Let me see here.
Oh.
The Legacy of Oshira trilogy. So if it does well, maybe you'll get a trilogy. I hope so. I'm really rooting for Amandla and everything she's in, but also for Gina Prince Bythewood and everybody involved in this cast. So look up the book. If you people want to buy it, it's on Amazon. I've always wanted to read it. I think it's free on Kindle, but don't check me on that.
Get it before the sales boost.
Exactly, right? So that's coming out January 15th, 2027. So we still got a long way to go, even though the cast was announced now. So I guess they're going to start filming.
Do you think they'll do back to back?
What do you mean back to back?
Like if it's supposed to be a trilogy, you think they'll?
Oh, great question. Probably not. I think they would wait because this is a new franchise. They'll probably wait. But if it is
children, a blood and bone.
But it's Paramount. Paramount has been getting a lot of interesting decisions. I think with what's it called? They don't have like Transformers isn't killing it right now. They need a new franchise. I think this could be a cool one. I always like it when studios go about finding new and interesting franchises based off of books. Can't go wrong with that. Lastly, Sinestro was cast in Lanterns, which is coming out next year. Sinestro is being played by Sinestro casting. I forgot what's his name. Ulrich Thompson as Sinestro. He was seen in a show that I didn't really watch. It was shoot. Let me see if I can find it. Banshee, there it was. Banshee, that was the show that was Homelander, the guy who plays Homelander on The Boys. He was also on the show. Anthony Starr. He was on Banshee. That's why I know of the show. And Anthony Starr commented like he's going to be a great Sinestro because, of course, they were on a show together. But he's old. This people want to look up Ulrich Thompson. He's an old fella. People are making jokes because we all know Howard Jordan's already played by Kyle Chandler, who's like late 50s. Sinestro is also being played by a later actor as well, which is interesting. The DCU is again casting these older. I know Nathan's gonna. we talk about it every week with the DCU casting, but like. We have an older Sinestro, older Howard Jordan, and we're getting a young Jon Stewart played by Aaron Pierre. It's very interesting decisions here.
Yeah. Older Batman. Younger Superman. Fuck.
I don't get it.
I don't get it, Bob. James, I love you. I don't get it.
I don't get it. Yeah, Sinestro is a pretty important Lantern's character.
It really feels like it's just like they don't want to, do the thing that DC did previously, which is like rush it all now so that we can catch up. But they do want to catch up because they're like, we want to have a lot of history, but we can use the younger generation as our starting point, which I see the vision, but also I want Bruce. I want Bruce and Clark together. Clark's young. The fuck? Like it's weird to have these veteran Green Lantern and Batman, but Superman is like, hello.
It is weird. I mean, I don't mind the Green Lantern. I don't mind Hal Jordan being played by Kyle Chandler. John
is just as iconic.
Exactly. I think Hal's going to be late 50s. I think Kyle Chandler's like late 50s.
Because I think they're doing Wally Flash. I think too, which. Sure.
Yeah. We just talked about that they are doing Wally Flash, which is interesting. Wally's the classic Flash is technically Barry, but then Wally was like the one mainly people know in the 80s and 90s.
I think he was big on the cartoons as well. That a lot of
Wally was the one on the Justice League Unlimited show. It was all Wally, not Barry. But yeah, so the official description says, ruthless yet undeniably charming, Sinestro is a former Green Lantern who turned rogue. Sinestro's manipulative nature drives his enduring obsession with his former mentee, Hal Jordan. So that can be interesting. There could be a case where Hal and Sinestro die at the end of Lanterns.
Oh, I thought you were going to be... There could be a case where the two have to work together.
No. And I think just moving forward, we all know Aaron Pierre, Jon Stewart. He's going to be our main Green Lantern.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if James is just like trying to do Justice League Unlimited in the DCU, because we already have James, or we already have Jon Stewart. Wally West is coming. It's like we get the Justice League Unlimited universe, but in live action, which would be pretty great.
Right on. Yeah, so it'll be interesting because in regards to Sinestro, a lot of people, have said many things about the Green Lantern film, but a lot of people, I think, are in consensus that Mark Strong was a very well cast Sinestro.
Fantastic.
Though he never really got to be the villain Sinestro until like the post credits for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'll be back in the movie that's not gonna happen.
I think that was one of my first examples where like I went to the theater with a friend and they were like, "We're gonna stay." I'm like, what? There's supposed to be stuff after the credits. What? Okay.
Yeah. When did Green Lantern came out? Like 2011, right?
Yeah.
2011. So that was before the major like Avengers post credit scene. But we had experienced Iron Man and stuff like that.
It was funny though, because like I've watched Iron Man many a time on my DVD, and then it wasn't until I was randomly like I was folding laundry and Iron Man was playing on FX, and then they do the thing where like they fast forward the credits, but then they play the scene. And I was like, "There's more," and I knew Marvel did it, but I was like, "They did it all along."
Yeah, I don't think I saw the Iron Man one when I was a kid. Maybe I did, but like the first one I remember is like is Captain America waking up from the alarm clock? Is that a post credit scene or is that at the end of the movie?
He wakes up at the end of the movie, but then his post credit scene is a clip from Avengers followed by a trailer for the Avengers.
Okay, so maybe I didn't see that one. Well, what's the one where is Thor the one with the what's the one with the hammer?
Thor's hammer is found by Coulson at the end of Iron Man 2.
So Iron Man 2 was the one I remember seeing like, oh shoot. I remember like freaking out. And I was like, Thor.
I didn't see any of this shit. I was just like suddenly one day Avengers happened and I was like, all right. That was fucked though, because I went and I think like I was aware that like Cap and Thor had a movie. I had not seen them yet. And I asked my friend, don't I need to see those? And he was like, you're fine.
Your friend Hody.
And granted, I still had a good time. But then I come home and I'm like, open Netflix right now.
This is interesting.
Open Netflix on my fucking Wii. It's because it's 2012, and let me watch Thor and First Avenger, and then I love them again.
I never watched Netflix on my Wii. Couldn't do it. It was too slow.
Look, Bob.
But this is interesting lore. Nathan watched Avengers before watching Thor and Captain America.
I saw Iron Man, Incredible Hulk. I saw Incredible Hulk through Netflix in the mail.
Wow.
And then I saw Iron Man 2 in theaters, first MCU movie. And then I went to go see Avengers like a week after its release, though.
Yeah.
And then I watched Thor and Cap at home.
I'll always remember watching 2008's Iron Man because it was my 12th birthday. We went to an AMC and we rented out like an AMC birthday thing. And not a theater, but just like, one of those birthday rooms. Where you get to chill and eat, and then we watched Iron Man together. We had like a whole row, and then, that's why Iron Man is one of my all-time favorite movies because I just had a fantastic theater experience. Like all my high school, how old was I? 7th grade.
I got all
my 7th grade friends in 2008. It was amazing.
That's amazing. I got to do the in 2018 for the 10 years of Marvel Studios. They re-released every film in IMAX for the MCU, in like playing on individual days. But then like there would be ones where like it was just like the one showtime for one day, but some of the more popular ones like Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Spider-Man, they got like a couple day plays. But my primary thing was like, this is cool because I hadn't seen a lot of Phase 1 in theaters, so I did like a mini marathon of just watching Phase 1 over the course of a couple days. That was cool. And now the only MCU film I've not seen in theaters is the first Ant-Man.
That's weird. What happened in 2015?
I was grounded.
I've never been grounded in my life. What'd you do?
You fucking nerd. All right.
I never did anything. I did some bad shit, like, but not like bad shit. It was like academically bad. I didn't tell my dad I got a C on a test.
Yeah. It might have been something in that regard. What was it?
Yeah.
2015. I think I was definitely faking grades is what I did.
Yeah, like we had geometry and I was getting like Fs because I was just not good at geometry initially. And my dad was like, go to after school help night where a teacher would stay after school to help out, students. I lied and I went to the library with my friends to F around and hang out and talk. My dad ended up calling the geometry teacher. Of course, he said Evan never showed up. And then, my dad came home and was like, you're done. You're done.
Fuck. Yeah, one of my dude, I think one of my favorite things that I caught on, it was like, they'll be like, it's the first day of school and teacher was like, all right, yeah, fill out some info about yourself. And they give out these sheets and it's like, yeah, your name. It's the basic shit, right? It's your name, your address, your parents' phone number, your parents' email. And I was like, all right, yeah. And I think I ended up writing, because you had to have a phone number for sure. And I wrote like our landline number that we did not use anymore. And I just left I think I left the email, or I may have written a bogus one because I was like,
yeah,
they'll never get it now. I'm in the clear.
Yeah, I would never know like my parents like email or address. I would just be like, yeah, y'all can look that shit up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Iron Man 2008, great movie. That's about it for movie news. Nathan, the Oscars were this week. And you've now seen. Have you seen The Brutalist yet? Have you not seen The Brutalist? Is that one you haven't seen yet?
I have.
You have now seen The Brutalist. Okay, you have now seen The Brutalist. You saw.
I have seen The Brutalist.
Yes, you have seen The Brutalist. Okay. Which Oscar movies haven't you seen? I should just ask.
Let me pull up the nominees. Okay. Unless you have them pulled up.
I have my memory pulled up.
All right, I'm just gonna go to the Academies.
So starting off with the movie news, the big thing, Best Picture. Going into this, we don't do a lot of Oscar talk on this podcast. I do that a lot on Where Heartbreak Feels Good. Follow that channel. And we predicted a lot of the Oscar nominees, but there were some surprises. Yeah, Nathan?
Yeah, so from what I have not seen, I have yet to watch A Complete Unknown.
Okay.
Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, and Nickel Boys. Saw the trailer for Nickel Boys, and I really want to see it.
Yeah, I've heard mixed of overwhelmingly positive things about Nickel Boys. I also really want to see it, but I was telling people off stream, beginning of this stream, just like, it's so far away. I don't want to have to drive that far away just to watch Nickel Boys. It's like playing in one theater in Cincinnati. I'm just like, this sucks. It's like a one small indie theater. And then I'm Still Here is coming out February 6th in Ohio. But yeah, overall, it was a big morning for A Complete Unknown, Wicked, and Emilia Perez, which ends the morning with 13 nominations, which is the second of all time. It ties with classic films such as Fellowship of the Ring, Oppenheimer, more so than I think La La Land in terms of nominations. So, wow. And I forget the stat, but I think it's like, of the films that got 13 nominations and won Best Picture, I think it's like the odds are like 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 or whatever. Like, it's a very high odd. Not a lot of them have lost Best Picture with 13, with upwards of 12 nominations and lost. Like La La Land had like 12 or something and lost to Moonlight. Other films have had 12 and 13 or whatever and lost to other films, but not a lot. So
may I be bold?
Please.
I feel like the Best Picture winner is going to be one that maybe has like 1 to 2 wins in a different category, but then is going to take the Best Picture.
I think it's bold, but I think that might be the case. I mean, I don't know. If Emilia Perez wins, right now I only have it winning Supporting Actress and Best International. Yeah, sorry.
I know, granted, you haven't there's some you haven't seen, but like if you were to like off the cuff guess, what do you think will be the Best Picture? So I got my pick, but I want to hear your pick.
My personal pick would be Anora. It's like my second or third favorite movie of the year. I love Anora. Substance also be another great win.
Could you imagine, dude? I would fall on my knees.
I would fall on my knees.
Way.
I would scream. You would hear me scream from Florida. It would be the best. It would be one of the best picture winners ever. Like I was screaming when Parasite won, but I was prepared for Parasite to win. I was prepared for Shape of Water to win. I was prepared for Everything Everywhere, Oppenheimer. This year, I have no idea. I'm going with, to be honest, Emilia Perez, head over heart. Emilia Perez does scare me. I can see the Academy going for that, and mainly because, and a lot of people have said this already, but like, the Academy wants to make themselves feel good. They want to pick a movie that they think makes them come across as progressive or as like with the times or good socially, right? Emilia Perez checks those boxes surface level, right? Trans rights, womanhood empowerment, women, three main women characters. It's very anti, if you want to believe the whole anti-Trump narrative that could be going around there. It's like everything Emilia Perez is trying to portray, it's very like left-wing progressive, that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Even though Hollywood's very, studios are very old white dudes. Hollywood also wants to come across as, progressive and on the right side of society.
Let's imagine the winner going up and then like the voters being like, yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? They want to say like, hey, like we're supporting like positive narratives. Like it's the same thing that happened in 2007, 2006 when Crash won Best Picture. You might not have seen this movie.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it a lot.
My dad,
I don't really know the story of it, but
my dad loves Crash. I watched it because he said like Evan, this is going to be one of the best Picture winners ever. I watched it. I thought it sucked. He hated my opinion, but it's very much like about racism in LA and characters overcoming that. There's like this cop who like pulls over this guy, very racist pull over, cops. But at the end of the movie, he ends up saving the black. He ends up saving. It's a girl from the very famous actress, Denzel's wife. Not Denzel's wife. I always got her confused with Denzel. She's a person from Solo, the black lady from Solo.
Yes, Thaddeus Newton.
Thaddeus Newton. I always got her confused with Denzel's wife, or not Denzel. Will Smith's
Mission
wife.
Impossible 2.
But yeah. Anyways, Thaddeus Newton, she was like unlawfully, pulled over with her husband, played by and I'm also forgetting his name, the guy from Prisoners and Empire. Who played Rhodey, the first Rhodey.
Terrence Howard.
Thank you, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, Thaddeus Newton, they're husband and wife. They get pulled over by a racist cop. Bad. At the end of the movie, the racist cop saves the day by pulling Thaddeus Newton out of a burning car. And it's like on the cover of the movie where it's like he's like saves her. And it's like, he's not racist, guys. See? It's very, I don't like it.
It's a Green Book vibe.
It big time. Big time. And it's the same thing. We see it time and time again. Green Book, Crash, where the Academy picks these movies that are like, hey, we're not racist, or we support these kind of movies.
I don't think The Blind Side won, but it was nominated, wasn't it?
It was nominated. I don't like The Blind Side either, but it's the similar topics, right? Where it's like these progressive-esque movies that aren't really saying much if you actually watch the movie. And Emilia Perez is trying to do way too much. I don't hate it as much as everybody else does. I think it's just a very, very mid film. I saw 102 movies, and Emilia Perez is like 40, 50 on that list. Like it seemed like in the middle. But anyways, I think head over heart again. Sorry, I think Emilia Perez has a chance to win, a strong chance to win. Otherwise, I don't think Wicked is. I think it'd still be Anora or Conclave. Anora, Conclave, or Emilia Perez.
But like, if you were to like think what the winner is, like you pick one, what is your?
I'll go back to Emilia Perez right now. Unfortunately,
I think for a lot of similar box checked for the reasons you were given, that's kind of a feeling I have for my pick as well, because I think it will I just have a feeling it'll go to Conclave.
I think a lot of people have been saying Conclave for weeks now, mainly because of the preferential ballot, where people think Emilia Perez won't survive the preferential ballot. People don't know what that means. For determining Best Picture winners, everybody from the Actors Guild, the Directors Guild, the Producers Guild, they all come together and they're like, what was the favorite movie from 1 to 10? The most ones wins the day.
It's the plot of Conclave.
Right? And then number 2, like if they can't decide that number 2, who has the most number 2 spots? Like people don't think Emilia Perez will win in a preferential because it's nobody's favorite movie of the year. It could be a movie they like, but would they put it above Conclave? Probably not, is the assumption. Conclave is a movie that's easy to like. I really liked Conclave.
I did too. So you may think like, well, of course you would pick it, but again, like for the different points of like the subject matter of them, trying to find like the best actual person to be the leading person of this high level organization, kind of like our country, and constantly voting and outing these different secrets and ultimately landing on the best person for the job, who is also happens to be one who isn't aligning of the singular sex. It's very different, and like you said, the Academy wanting to appeal to these different things, but also a lot of Hollywood, not all of it, but a lot of Hollywood is a bit more leaning of the progressive side of things, and I think especially in film as well, that would be a very good pick as well. And again, I think it will be a thing where it'll get maybe like 1 or 2 wins, and then take the actual big thing as like, oh hey, it was that one, because like you said, it could be Emilia Perez, but I could also see Emilia Perez taking a lot of the other like side ones, like production and stuff like that, or something. And then when you're getting down to the finality of it, it'd be like, it was you. Okay, cool.
I wonder if my award expert app has updated, because if people really want to follow the award season, I really recommend, a lot of people are on Gold Derby, but I follow Awards Expert app, which is, I just got an email from work. A lot of people follow the Award Expert app, which is a great place to follow along with your nominations. Let me go to my list.
Did you want to like rapid fire the different noms to do a thought on? Yeah, because I have them all pulled up. So
thank you. Yeah, let's do that. Do that for me.
Yeah. So in actor in a supporting role, we had Yura Borisov for Nora, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice.
This was interesting. I have not seen The Apprentice. Have you?
Not yet. I want to.
It was also disappointing for me. I really wanted Clarence Macklin from Sing Sing to get in here. When I first saw that movie, I was, mesmerized. It's one of my top 5 movies of the year. And I think Clarence Macklin goes toe-to-toe with Coleman Domingo, which is hard to do. And, oh, man, I was in tears at the end of the movie. And Clarence Macklin is a great deal of the reason why I was. And when I first saw the movie, I thought he was a lock. And then A24 just didn't campaign him successfully enough. And he doesn't get in here. But of this list, man, not a lot of these are supporting actors. But I would put everybody's loving Kieran. That's a popular one. That's probably who's going to win. Kieran Culkin, coming off of his best actor in a drama win from Succession last year. I would actually go Yura Borisov. I loved him in Nora. Guy Pearce was also very, very good, but I would still put Yura Borisov. Edward Norton, I've seen getting a lot of praise as well. He does a great voice as his role in Complete Unknown. Jeremy Strong also is also excellent, I hear. But yeah, man, who would you pick for this category?
Sorry, I cut out for a second. Who is Yura in Nora?
Yura Borisov. He's the boyfriend, not a boyfriend, but he's like the nice Russian at the end of the movie who.
Right on, gotcha.
He majorly in the second and third act of the movie.
But then what'd you ask me?
Who would you pick?
Out of these 5, wow, no Jeff Goldblum, disappointing.
I was like, what movie was Jeff Goldblum in? Yeah,
he's a Wicked. I think it's probably going to go to Kieran. But But also, if it's just like, I haven't seen the movie yet, but if I were to be like, okay, Academy, it could go to Edward Norton. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I don't expect him to be like I'm sure it's a good performance, and I look forward to seeing it. But granted, I've only seen 2 of these performances. I've seen Yora and I've seen Guy Pearce now. Guy Pearce is very committed in the role, but also I feel like there are other roles here that probably go a bit more raw with their performances, if I were to guess, especially for Kieran and A Real Pain, right?
I'm very curious what you think. Have you seen A Real Pain yet?
Not yet, but I'm definitely gonna check it out soon because it's on Hulu.
Very curious to see what you think about. Is it on Hulu? Wow.
Isn't it? Wasn't it a Searchlight?
Or
is it
I'm not sure. It is Searchlight, but I didn't know if it was on Hulu or not.
That would be because of where all Fox stuff goes.
Yeah.
So that'd be my go.
So yeah, let's move on. What's the other category?
We got a quick costume design. Got a Completely Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
This is wild. Something's missing there, Nathan. That should definitely be there.
And what, under costume design?
Yeah, the D.
Yeah,
and the Moon.
That's right. Evan, Alien Romulus didn't get in. It's kind of fucked up.
Crazy. But yeah, no Dune in costume design, but a complete unknown. That's wild. That's wild to me. A complete unknown took place in the 80s, 70s, whatever. Bob Dylan, nothing special about the costumes. They're good 80s, 70s costumes. It's like Dune's costumes. That should have been a lock for a nomination. Those gorgeous, and I get, Dune 2 just in general really didn't do so well this award season, mainly because of the release date, if you want to use that excuse.
You don't think it's because of the previous praise for the first one already?
No, but also like people have been comparing it to apparently the Two Towers, where the Two Towers didn't get a lot of wins after Fellowship, but then of course Return of the King swept every single thing was nominated in. So mainly it could be a sequel effect. Same thing with James Cameron's Avatar 2, only got like 2 wins compared to the first Avatar, and less nominations compared to the first Avatar because we've seen it already. But like the costumes, I think evolved in the second movie, especially with the different Harkonnens and the different cast members and shit like that. So I'm very upset about that. But costumes, I don't know who's winning this one. It might go to wait, who was in it again? Say it again.
We had a Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I think it's going to be Wicked.
Wicked. Yeah, Wicked winning this one. I have Wicked winning costume and production design.
Yeah. That said, I did like what Gladiator 2 brought with their wardrobe, and Conclave, the gorgeous robes that they wore. It was great. I love the gothic attire of Nosferatu, and Complete Unknown, it's a period piece.
This is a period piece. It went to, when I saw that nomination, I was like, Complete Unknown in costumes. I did not have that predicted. It really foreshadowed its overperformance Oscar morning. I really figured out they really love that movie.
I will say something that I'm certain was never going to get touched by any category, but the fucking devotion to craft these costumes, like Furiosa's costumes are immaculate.
Furiosa should have got a lot. Furiosa should have been in editing, costume, makeup and hair, visual effects, sound, maybe not score. The score wasn't as memorable as the first one.
But that trailer score was really good.
The trailer score, that one was really good. Yeah.
But yeah, could have been Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay. No, stop it.
Those are good looking costumes. That Gambit costume.
Anyway. Okay. So what's next?
We got makeup and hairstyling. We got them for A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. It's definitely going to The Substance, right?
This is when people saw The Substance when it first came out, I was like, oh, it's over, right? It's like there's no other win at all. Like, and in terms of like the makeup and best actor or actress stat, usually the film that wins best makeup goes along with the best actor or actress prize. The Eyes of Tammy Faye won best makeup, and then Jessica Chastain ended up winning for Eyes of Tammy Faye.
That happened for Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour, yep. Darkest Hour won best makeup, and it went
stolen
to
from Daniel.
From who?
Daniel Kaluuya.
I agree. That was it. Yeah, I think a lot of the 2017 nominations were way better than Gary Oldman. Even though I thought he was very good in it. But also Brendan Fraser. The best makeup went to The Whale, and then he also won for The Whale. So if you want to go with the stat, best makeup for Demi Moore, and Demi Moore could win best actress. I would really love that.
Absolutely. Otherwise, if Orlok was a bit more creative in its makeup for Nosferatu, I think it could have had a chance. And I feel like Wicked has great makeup in and of itself, but I feel like it's nominated primarily for Cynthia's character, which looks great. But all in all, looking at these, the substance just has such detailed craftsmanship of multiple stages of the substance taking away from your life.
Agreed. And I remember for this category in particular, Dune, I actually didn't predict Dune because I feared it wouldn't make it anyways. But Amelia Perez getting in is pretty shocking. Mm-hmm. There's one scene where it's like a transformation sequence and there's like a prosthetic nose, I think. But it just went again. It foreshadowed Amelia Perez's dominance. They were just going to nominate it whatever they wanted to. Wicked, I thought had good makeup. You're just looking at like you mentioned, Cynthia's green makeup, but also the hair. It's called makeup and hairstyling.
Yes. There's a lot of great craft. I do apologize. I was missing that.
Yeah, hairstyling was very unique in that film. So I mean, it's not just you. I feel like a lot of people are saying, why are they giving the makeup? It's just Cynthia. But no, the whole world had very fascinating hairstyling. It kind of had to be.
Absolutely.
So what's next?
Original score. We had The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Shocking. I talked about this on another podcast, but The Wild Robot getting that animation plus score combination at the Academy Awards is very interesting. I've always wanted it for like Pinocchio to get in for best, or Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio to get in for animation and score. I thought Pinocchio's score was excellent. Didn't happen. Last year was a travesty where Boy and the Heron and Across the Spider-Verse didn't get in for best score when they absolutely deserved to. I still listen to Boy and the Heron score every single day, and Across the Spider-Verse score is a banger. It's very fun to listen to. And those two didn't get in. And then this year, we finally get one in The Wild Robot, which had a wonderful score. So I'm very glad that stat gets broken there. But this one, it's a Brutalist. Brutalist is winning this easily.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? What would that mean?
No, Brutalist has a great score. However, I can't remember a lot of it. Okay. I remember like the like that. It's wonderful.
That's it. I mean
that's all there is.
No. But that's
3 hours.
That one track.
Yes, that is great. It's triumphant.
That's
it feels like I'm watching a fucking epic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That and variations of that opening triumphant theme is played throughout the movie. So there's I think there might be 3 tracks of the same variation or of the same score, but in different variations.
I do love that.
So and the other ones I just don't really. I think Wild Robot has a solid, wonderful score. Amelia Perez, basic. I don't really remember the Conclave score that much.
I don't particularly remember the arrangement, but I do remember listening to it and being just because it's a little bit suspenseful when it's like the different scenes of voting and you're just like, fuck, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
It does engage you. Wicked, I know, I imagine a lot of people would probably be thinking like, okay, well, it's just recycling what was from the stage play, but there's like a lot of work to like really elevate to a theatrical level the different tracks that they're performing, and I think that's not something to be overlooked lightly.
I would overlook it, to be honest.
All right, well,
because I feel like those are musical tracks. Those are musical numbers. Those aren't the score. Like the score has to be the stuff in between the musical numbers.
I mean, that is there too, but even even just like the entire finale of the Defying Gravity sequence, like without the score, it doesn't hit the same.
That's true. Very true. It does soar. So yeah, for me, I'll go Brutalist here. So would you go for something else here?
Well, it's like I would personally go for Wicked, but it probably won't get it. It probably is going to go to the Brutalist. However, Wild Robot would be delightful.
Wild Robot would be delightful. Suck it, Josh.
I saw 3 noms for Wild Robot, and I was like, Josh is going to be pissed.
Our friend Josh does not like the Wild Robot. He loves Flow more.
Go watch his reaction. It's amusing.
It's great.
Live action short film is here. It had Alien, Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. I do not know any of these personally.
Yeah, we can skip the short films ones. I have not watched them yet. I will eventually.
All right, same with the animated short films.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Adapted screenplay.
Interesting. Yes, let's go to that.
All right. Alien Romulus. It's adapted.
I think would that be adapted or original? I think it's in a franchise, so it has to be adapted, right?
Because it's in a franchise, it would be adapted. And they are taking plots from other films as well, so adapted. So that goes for A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. I want Sing Sing to get it.
I want Sing Sing to win. It's going to Conclave. Conclave has been winning. Conclave has been winning a lot of precursors. Not a lot, but it's been getting nominated and winning a lot at the critic side of things. And in terms of like the dialogue, it's very. This is a war. It's like,
Yeah, this is This would be one of my picks for like the 1 to 2 wins before the Best Picture claim. In my scenario.
Like if you think Conclave can win Best Picture, the package would be. It's hard to find a package for Conclave. Like it would be adapted screenplay and picture. Yeah. I don't think Ralph Fiennes is coming along. He could. I doubt it though. At this point,
I really love his performance.
It's very understated though.
It's driven from like the sense of like a man who has that worry that he has to push down in order to function until he reaches the breaking point.
Yes. I don't hate it. I feel like other people in that actor lineup is better. But
sure.
I think you could argue you could win editing as well. That would be a great package. Editing, screenplay, and picture. That'd be a good package.
I like that.
Remember, Coda broke all the stats in the world. Coda won Best Picture off of Best Picture, Supporting Actor, and Screenplay. 3 nominations. It won 3. And that was it, which was crazy. It like broke all the stats in the world.
I really need to watch Coda, man.
It was a great. I like Coda a lot. People are like, do people even remember Coda? It's a fun movie. It's very like heartwarming and very sweet. It's kind of like. Did you watch My Old Ass this year?
No, I saw the trailer though, and it looks pretty good.
It's one of those very just heartwarming movies to watch. It might be forgettable to some people, but not to me. But yeah, that was. But no, not us. What did we just talk about? What category was that?
Adapted screenplay.
Yeah, adapted. So yeah, we want Sing Sing, but it's probably going to go to Conclave. What's next? Let's do original.
Original screenplay. We had Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance.
September 5th, actually.
Threw me off. It's
weird.
Is it actually called that though? Or
yeah, it's September 5th.
Okay, I actually like that trailer. I haven't seen the movie, but like the trailer's
pretty solid. Yeah, our friend Josh, who watched the movie, he said he didn't like it because of the politics of it. But I would go for Nora here. That's my pick. And I think it will win, actually.
But Evan, the substance sweep.
The Substance, it has like the most original story.
Yeah.
But screenplay wise, it's not the most talky kind of movie. It's very visual language kind of movie.
I would have to check out A Real Pain. I imagine. I don't know if it's a winner, but I imagine it's written quite beautifully and quite heartfelt.
You would be correct. It is. That'd be my second choice. I would go Nora, A Real Pain, Brutalist, Substance, September 5.
Yeah.
A Real Pain is one of those beautiful movies.
Absolutely. And that being said, I do think it probably is going to be a Nora, and I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, the Nora package used to be screenplay, everything. Screenplay, editing, actress, and picture. That would be easy win. But actress might be going to Demi. Screenplay they still got, but then editing is very up in the air. I think it could easily go to Emilia Perez now at this point. Did we talk best editing, or what's next on your list?
We have actress in a supporting role.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, we got Monica Barbaro, Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, and Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez.
Zoe's winning this, maybe. It's between Zoe and Ariana Grande. I've had Zoe winning since I saw Emilia Perez. She's like the best part of the movie.
I was like, would you say her performance is good?
Performance is great. Her character work or her character arc is very simple and not great, but it's like it's Zoe and she's delivering off of a mediocre script. Zoe is doing very, very, very good. Even in the musical numbers. Ariana Grande, I'm just like, does the Academy give it to her when all I'm hearing is that she gets a lot more to do in Wicked Part 2? Both of them do. So I'm like,
she did a bit here.
She does a lot here as well, yes. But I'm like, do you give it to an actor? If Ariana wins, would they even nominate her next year? That's very interesting. I wonder how many nominations Wicked Part 2.
Probably not. Like, how many like repeat sequel noms does one get? I mean, because if there was no was Timothy nominated for the first Dune?
No, Dune has gotten no acting nominations both times.
Never mind. I have no example then.
I do think. Sorry to cut you off. On the topic of Dune, I do think if Dune Messiah comes out, and from what I'm hearing, it's a much more of a drama than action based for Dune Messiah. I do think Dune Messiah could be the one where we actually do get acting nominations. That'd be my guess. But I think Wicked's going to get a bit less nominations next time around. I wouldn't know if. I think Cynthia might get nominated again, depending on the lineup this year. But she'll be easily snubbable. Gotcha. But yeah, this is interesting. What do you think?
I'm hesitant about Felicity Jones because she doesn't come in until the second half of The Brutalist. She's great, but I don't know if she's the standout of the supporting for the year.
She is excellent in Brutalist, though, man. Dude, that one scene at the end of the movie, the dinner scene.
Yeah.
That's
true. She's very, very committed. Very, very well done. Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. She was the nun, right? The sister.
No, she was Ray Fiennes' mom. Yeah, she was a nun.
You got me there. Even so, I don't know. That also feels like a bit of an understated performance.
Very, very, very understated. Yeah, I don't think that'll win. Yeah.
Otherwise, I still have to see Monica and Zoe's performances, but just jumping off at me in terms of the level of physical engagement, I feel like Ariana is going to be a favorable pick.
It's between Ariana and Zoe. I wouldn't mind Ariana winning. I just want to preface that because I got some comments. People are like, "You don't really want her to win, Evan." I'm like, I just made a bet with Josh. That's why I think she's not going to win. I just think the Academy isn't going to give
money on the line.
I just don't think the Academy will give her an Oscar for her first major film role for a musical. I don't know. I think this might be one of those career awards for Zoe, where Zoe's been better in numerous other things, but she's in the Best Picture package kind of movie. And even if it doesn't win Best Picture, I think all the votes are going to go towards Zoe. So I think Zoe's going to win here. She's one of my favorite actresses ever. I love her. So, yeah.
Next category, we had original song.
Oh, yes.
We had El Mal from Amelia Perez, The Journey from The Six 888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Amelia Perez again, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late.
Haven't seen Never Too Late, haven't seen 6 888. Sing Sing, the song is what plays during the credits.
Okay.
That's why some people might forget it, but I stayed for the credits. I like the song. El Mal is going to win this from Amelia Perez. It's the song that Zoe Saldana does. It's her major showstopper song. But I would want Sing Sing to win because I like Sing Sing more.
I agree. That's the only one of these I've seen too, so that would be my pick. And I was very emotionally moved by that movie. That said, love Elton John. Didn't know this existed. I wanted to check it out now. All right, moving forward, we had a documentary feature film. Did you want to do that?
Yeah, we can skip that. I haven't seen any of them.
Okay, then we had a documentary short film. Haven't seen those. Did you international feature film?
We can skip it, but Flow is nominated here along with Amelia Perez and I'm Still Here. I have not seen Girl in the Needle or The Seed of the Sacred Fig.
I keep seeing trailers for Seed of the Sacred Fig, and it looks interesting.
It looks really interesting. Yeah, it just has not come out anywhere near me. I've seen Flow. Flow would be winning this, in my opinion. I love the movie. It's a very subtextual animated film. I remember I saw it with there was like this kid at my indie theater who saw this right after the movie ends. He was like, "What did that mean, Mama?" And I'll never forget that. Because it's a very subtextual movie. There's no dialogue. You're following a cat along the whole time, but it's visually gorgeous, visually impressive, and it has a lot to say about nature and for better and for worse. And I think it's a wonderful movie. So I think Flow would win, but I'm hearing brilliant things about I'm Still Here, so that could also win. The consensus is that all four of the nominations besides Amelia Perez are better than Amelia Perez, which will most likely win. But I'm Still Here was nominated for Best Picture too, so there is love for that movie. So I'm Still Here has a shot to win international now.
Very well. Well, I'm a sucker for animation as well, so I may go Flow.
Did we talk about animated feature? Let's go to that category.
Let's go here. That is the next one. Yep, we have nominated Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot.
I think you would really like Memoir of a Snail. I really liked it.
I remember seeing the trailer for that. It looked pretty interesting. Pretty interesting animation.
A very interesting animation. It's a rated R animated movie. It talks about some pretty uncomfortable things. It's a very sad movie, but it ramps up in hopefulness towards a brilliant ending. I love the ending so much. So I would really recommend it. Even though I adored Wild Robot, I think Wild Robot still will win. But I wouldn't mind any of these winning. I think this is a very solid list. Me personally, I would go with I would have liked for Transformers 1 or Look Back to be nominated. But very solid list of nominations here.
Absolutely. I haven't seen the Wallace and Gromit film yet, though I am a big fan of those characters. So, see where I'm at. But, emotionally speaking, the Wild Robot just hits so hard. I think it is... it was not recently knocked out of my top 5. It's my number 6 of the year. And and it is my top animated. Is it? Yeah, it's my top animated movie of the year. It's so good.
Oh, I didn't know you liked. I didn't know you ended up liking that more than Transformers.
Only by a couple slots and only by one in animation. But yeah,
cool.
So yeah. Then we had production design. This goes production design for The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
I'm so glad Dune got in here. I wanted to win, but it's probably going to go to Wicked, which also had a very strong production design that got disguised by some of the visuals that people didn't like. But I think for the most part, the production design is still very much praiseworthy.
Absolutely.
Oh, and the castle in Nosferatu, brilliant. I'm so happy they got nominated.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very beautiful Gothic architecture, but also with a lot of dark scenery. It can be kind of hard to appreciate the craftsmanship.
True.
Conclave, beautiful architecture of where they filmed, but I imagine it's also an existing place that they found a lot of times. Brutalist had a number of different locations. It functions as a period piece, but the overall thing he's building is very compelling.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting win for sure. I mean, I would love that. I forget what won last year. Was it Poor Things or Oppenheimer? I think Poor Things won production design.
I think Poor Things, yeah.
And I think production design usually goes to these sci-fi. If there is a sci-fi nominee, production design would go to that. So that's why I'm leaning towards Dune or Wicked, and most likely going towards Wicked. Because again, some of the visuals, similar to Nosferatu, where it's too dark, Wicked, some of the visual effects downplay the production design. But if you would just watch the behind the scenes of Wicked, you can really appreciate the production design, regardless of what it looks like in the movie.
Absolutely. Dune Part 2 definitely has a lot going for it, though I feel like it has a lot of sense of outdoor spatial feel with the movie, with a lot of the time spent with the Fremen, a lot of the designs for the Harkonnens are very sterile, sleek, which are very well functioning for the story of the characters. But just in looking at all these, Wicked again has some very impressively designed sets that I feel like it's the one that's going to take it.
Agreed. What's next?
We had film editing. This goes for Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked.
To stay off the bat, I saw this list. I had editing. I think I had September 5 in one of my predictions for editing. I think I did not predict one of these. I did not predict. I think it was Wicked. I did not predict to get in here for editing. Yeah, I think it was Wicked.
A lot of people upset about Wicked, Josh. But I see it, especially with the numbers going between the emotional beats, and I mean, even thinking off the cuff of the song "What Is This Feeling" when they're roommates at first, that back and forth is very engaging with its cuts, and I feel like it was done quite well. I really do like the editing in Nora a lot.
Me too. And I think these 5 are the top 5 for Best Picture. One of these 5 will win Best Picture, in my opinion. I think that's pretty obvious. And I think, similar to the year that Parasite won, people were like, how can we know if Parasite's going to win before it wins Best Picture? A lot of Oscar experts were like, look to see what wins Best Editing. First of all, what gets nominated, but then what wins Best Editing. And Parasite won editing early on in the ceremony, and I think that sealed the deal. Okay, that can pave the way for a Best Picture win. I think whatever wins Best Editing at the Oscars will win Best Picture. And it's been floating around that Emilia Perez, it has a lot of editing.
Mm-hmm.
Will it win? Classically, Bohemian Rhapsody has a lot of editing, and it won. It's not great editing, Bohemian Rhapsody.
It is a big thing where people keep referencing the one fucking outdoor
I know.
diner scene, but then I'm looking at other scenes, and I'm like, pick any other one, please. Because again, I'm one of the 5 people who like that movie.
You really like it, yeah. I support. I don't mind that, yeah.
But I think this could, and I think deservedly could go to Conclave with like the tension of, especially the voting scenes, man.
That's what Josh and Edgar were saying as well. I think a lot of the Conclave has some very smart editing, where it's like they're whispering, and it's like, who do we think is with who, or who supports who's voting for who, and the camera like goes back and forth and shifts and like towards the different names and supporters and allegations. Like the editing is very swift and genius in Conclave.
It gets so engaging that you're just like, okay, what's going to go about? What's going to happen? Or what's the last vote going to catch? Fucking explosion! Oh shit!
Yeah. So I think the editing could very well go to Conclave, and again, that could be a clue that Conclave could win Best Picture. But Anora is still my number 1 for Best Picture and for editing in here, because I think the second act really escalates, like the comedic beats when Homeboy is driving and they're just arguing and it's like back and forth. I love that scene so much.
Yeah.
I think the editing is just very smart in Anora as well. So again, I think Anora and Conclave had a great shot here. Oh, I did not predict The Brutalist to get in here because it was not nominated. I think it was BAFTA. Somewhere it was not nominated for Best Editing. And I was like, wow, is that because it's like a 3-hour and 35-minute movie? They're just, people can't get through it because of the pacing, they think, and that can usually downturn an editing nomination. But because he got in at editing, that shows strength in The Brutalist. And The Brutalist has a shot as well. And like you mentioned, Wicked does for a lot of its musical numbers. So a lot of these have a very strong narrative to support their editing win. I think my fear is that Amelia Perez will win because it's a lot of editing, messy, but a lot. But I would support any of the other 4 winning, honestly. And for me, again, I would go for Anora.
Fair enough.
But yeah, what's next?
We got Sound, which is for A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Wild Robot shocked me. I think, what did I have here? I think I had Gladiator 2 as my prediction, I think. Gladiator 2 also did not get a lot of nominations that morning.
Right. You know me. I love Alien. Whenever we hit that vacuum of space without sound, just as effective.
I think Alien would have been a great nom as well here. Wild Robot, though, its nature-esque sound it's just a very interesting nomination. I like it. A Complete Unknown has the great live musical performances, which are very great. Amelia Perez, Wicked, and A Complete Unknown all have that musical. Even though A Complete Unknown isn't a musical, they're all doing singing and stuff.
Yeah.
But Dune's winning this. It's over. I think just the whole fire the nukes, like everything like that. The whole third act is like, give it. It's just, you see a battle, it'll win sound easily.
The sandworms approaching, that alone.
Oh, yeah. Paul taming the sandworm. That sound, incredible.
Fucking thumpers every time.
Fantastic. So, yeah, I have Dune winning 2 awards in sound and visual effects. Do we do that one yet? Visual effects?
That's next. Visual effects. Perfect. We have Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked.
They love their apes with Better Man and Kingdom of the Apes here.
And Wicked.
And Wicked, yeah, for the
Flying Monkeys.
Flying Monkeys. I was like, they're not apes. What do they call it? Monkeys. Alien. I predicted Alien. Not a lot of people did. Alien was nominated at Visual Effects Society, but it only had like 1 precursor.
Now, of course, people are taking the fucking a wonky shot of the Ian Holmes android, and they're like, "Are you kidding? This?" Even though this is like I think maybe like one of the most practical Alien films they made. And I said it before, Evan, when we reviewed it. This is the best the Xenomorph has ever looked on screen. It is gorgeously brought to life. Genuinely, so well done. And, the original creation of the creature at the end. it all comes together so beautifully, and the fucking climax of like the rings and the shredding of the ship that's impacting on it as it's grinding the orbit.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love that whole chase sequence. Is it a chase sequence? I don't even know, but like the whole
it's a race against the clock.
Race against the clock. The whole rings and the asteroid belt. It was just so incredible. I remember when I watched the trailer, I was like, that scene would be amazing, and it was amazing to look at. It was visually impressive. I think Dune will win this, and it should win this, but I think Alien and Apes also have great visual effects.
Yeah, as it is looking at these, Wicked has great visual effects,
Not really.
Maybe not 100, but like, it has really good stuff. Better Man, I haven't seen yet still, but from what I've seen of the trailers with the main boy, he looks like he's brought by like the same studio that does the hips.
Robbie Williams, come on, everybody knows him.
Yes, Robin's my father. Please call him.
Yes.
Kingdom, it is arguably like as great as the technology has ever been. But I think, even though I quite enjoy the film quite a lot, I think without the driving force of Andy Serkis's performance through the capture, may hinder its appeal comparatively to the other noms when the franchise was. Maybe. But fuck it, the duel scene alone in the arena for Dune 2 kind of cements.
Yeah, everything on that planet, man. Was it Caladan, something like that? I don't know.
The fucking gorgeous. Black suns that take away the color of the fucking what?
Blew me away when I saw that in theaters. Just oh my god.
So well done. I mean,
if anything. Yeah, if anything else wins visual effects, it'll be a travesty. I mean, it wouldn't be a travesty. I think Dune's just so gorgeous. One of the most gorgeous movies I've seen.
I think, yeah, I understand. I respect if it goes to Dune, but if it doesn't go to Dune, Alien. I don't think it should go to anything else but Alien, personally.
I would go Dune, Kingdom of the Apes, then Alien. Those apes are just incredibly impressive. What Owen Teague and the other cast did, embodying those apes, and what the whole animation studio did, creating that whole thing was incredible.
And just how they can interact with humans is
amazing. How do they do it? Yeah.
All right, Evan, cinematography is here. We have The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu.
I have not seen Maria. Oh, sorry.
I haven't seen Maria either. It could be Dune. I don't think it's going to Dune.
I don't think so either.
Just how things roll, because I'm sure it'll get a couple of the other ones. My Academy guess is that I think they'll give this to The Brutalist. However, I am very partial to Nosferatu.
Yeah, I'm partial to Dune. I would love Dune to win, but having seen The Brutalist now, I'm like, oh wow, this was fucking gorgeous. The opening scene, the upside down Statue of Liberty, gorgeous shot.
That was
incredible.
I think that alone got it right.
Yeah.
That's the win.
It's so amazing. And there's a lot of the scenery shots establishing the construction on the hill is, beautiful to look at. And just the framing of the entire movie is just it's why I think it's winning Best Director as well. I think cinematography, director, that collaboration within this movie is so beautiful to watch. So I would go for Brutalist, then Dune, then Nosferatu. Nosferatu is also one of the best. 1,000 shots are just stunning in this. The shot of Thomas getting out of the carriage at the crossroads at night, peak. The hand traversing over the city, peak. When Helen and her friend are walking along the beach, I love the shot there. So it's just great shots all around.
Just coming to mind of the scene when Willem Dafoe's character is like the only one left in the tomb because he's the one burning it because he knows it has to be done, but the other characters are running to the safety of the ones they care about, but he's kind of like gleefully laughing because he knows this will be it, like they'll win. And it just he's alone. He's burning both sides of the whole tomb, and it's just that slow.
Oh, is it the aerial shot or the push in? Are you?
It's the push in.
Okay.
That has like the full symmetry of the scene while he's burning the full casket.
That is a great shot. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking for that one.
And then
we have our best actor, Evan. We have Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Coleman Domingo, Ralph Fiennes, and Sebastian Stan. Of these, I have not seen Sebastian Stan yet. I love Ray Fiennes in anything. I think he's one of those actors where it's like he could do anything, and he's incapable of phoning in.
I can't wait to see. Yeah, he never does. I can't wait to see him in 28 years later this year.
Right? Yeah, I always forget, and then he pops up in the trailer, and I'm like, "Fuck you!" I love that man. However, it's funny because like my brain's wrestling with itself because I'm like, I don't think this is the best Coleman Domingo has ever been, but like I believe it is.
I think it's my favorite performance of his. I mean, in film,
it's definitely my favorite of like what I've seen from him.
What else is there to compare it to? Euphoria? That's it, right?
I guess, but he must have done more things, right?
I mean, at least I'm not familiar with a lot of his. I feel like I've watched a lot of Coleman Domingo in my life, but
right.
Rustin, he was solid in. Oh, he was in Fear the Walking Dead. I forgot about that. He was okay. Color Purple, he was great in. Candyman, he was great in. Okay, yeah. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, he was great in. He was in Drive Away Dolls for a little bit.
He was. This might be his best. I like
it. It's definitely his best.
Then right on. I think of these, that would be my personal picks, Coleman.
I would also predict, by the way, that he will be nominated this year because he is playing a supporting actor in the film Michael, the biopic of Michael Jackson.
Okay, yeah.
We've got some controversy over the weekend because it apparently has to reshoot its third act, which was going to be about one of the child predator allegations faced by Michael. But either way, allegations aside, if it comes out this year, and if Coleman Domingo, I think he's playing like a manager, I forget, but he's playing a supporting role, and I would easily predict him to be nominated because it's Coleman Domingo in a big film like Michael. I think why the heck not? But yeah, having said that, I would hope or I want Coleman to win this award. I think he's the best of these nominations. But I think the reward will go down to Timothy or Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody would be my second choice.
Sure.
Fuck the AI nonsense bullshit that people are peddling out there. It's all Adrian Brody, guys.
Yeah, it's still him.
It's not an AI.
From what I read, it was like they used it to help perfect enunciation for foreign dubbing.
Yeah, for certain Hungarian vowels and consonants, whatever it's called.
Which I have heard big complaints of like viewers of other countries when they hear performances try to like speak it, and then it's like that's not the right dialect. You said a whole different thing.
Yeah, so I'm fully fine with. I was on board with it, and people have been using it in other movies. People just don't care about it. Anyways, Adrian Brody, I think, delivered from scene 1 to the end of the movie. Just incredible performance. I think I would love for Adrian Brody to win this. And having seen A Complete Unknown, Timothy is great, but he's better in like literally a lot of other things I've seen him in. He was better in Wonka.
Okay.
He was better in Wonka. Don't fight me.
He is really good in Wonka. He's
really good, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet, so I can't really say. But yeah, I would like it to go to Coleman. Despite my love of Ralph Fiennes, I do contend that Adrian Brody was phenomenal in his performance here. So
and I think Ray Fiennes is just very it's a subdued performance, and those usually don't win. It's a very, very subdued performance.
Until they do.
Until they do, yeah. He's not crying. Are you crying? Then you'll win an award. You gotta cry.
You gotta Joker dance to win the award.
Exactly. Actress.
Actress in a leading role: Cynthia Erivo, Carla Sofia Gascon, Mikey Madison, Demi Moore, and Fernanda Torres. Evan, say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Demi Moore.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, Mikey, Demi. Yeah, I want Mikey to.
So okay, so I am of like I either want it to be Demi or Mikey.
Me too.
And I have a reason. I have a reason why I think it should go to Demi, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I wanted Mikey for the longest time, but then even after seeing The Substance, but hearing Demi's speech at the Golden Globes, that changed everything. And then Demi instantly shot up to number one after that speech. The power of a good speech, guys. People say Golden Globes don't matter, but like this year kind of did in terms of speeches and the international opinions coming out there. But anyways, I would say Mikey Madison, just from similar to Adrian Brody, Mikey Madison controlled every scene she was in. An argument against The Substance, even though I don't want to make that argument, it's like it does switch between her and Margaret Qualley, while Mikey Madison is controlling every single scene in Anora from start to finish, and she is wonderful up until the last scene where she's even better than she's ever been.
Sure.
Having said that, Demi Moore does some great transformation performances and has like the physical transformation that just goes up to 11. It's insane.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to Demi, like not only is her performance so good, but when you just see the inherent subject matter that she is competing against in the film, and the fact that she truly like lays it all on the line, both in performance and physicality, especially for a person of her age, to be so vulnerable. Mikey vulnerable as well, but with the societal standards of women as well, which is reflected in the film, and Demi committing to such a role, I feel it makes sense here. I think she's a first-time Oscar nominee as well.
All of these are first-time Oscar nominees. Yes.
Right on. And I think also with that point, and given that she is of an older casting, I believe of this time it would make sense. And I'm speaking from like the Academy voting perspective, that it would make sense for them to give it to her at this stage of her career.
Agreed.
And I think it's just as equally deserving.
I agree. Mikey might have been like, "Hey, you did great here, Mikey, but let's see you do something else."
She's absolutely the clear next pick for me, for sure.
Clearly, I think, yeah. But in terms of preferential ballot, again, I think a lot of people are going to go for Demi. They think it's her time. She got her due.
Sure. And I haven't seen
her due, but yeah, should have been.
And I haven't seen Carla or Fernanda's performances. Cynthia is phenomenal in Wicked, no doubt. But again, Demi and Mikey.
Yeah, I think Cynthia's better than Ariana, but it goes down to, as it always is, like the category that you're in. Best Actress is so stacked, while Supporting Actress isn't as stacked. That's why Ariana is getting a lot of the love there. But yeah, we'll be seeing Cynthia again next year.
For sure.
So we'll see. But yeah, Demi or Mikey, I'm with you, man. I think Demi will win, and I wouldn't mind her winning. I'll be very, very, very happy. So yeah, let's go to Best Director.
Best Director, we have Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, and The Substance.
If it was up to me, Coralie, congratulations. Coralie FRJ for The Substance really knocked me on my ass. But a lot of these are great as well. I think the winner is going to be Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. Again, the way he directed that opening shot, peak.
I'm imagining it though, like filming it, because you imagine the camera's there. It's just like fucking.
just turn it around. But yeah, I think Brady Corbett did something spectacular with his directing of The Brutalist. I think, again, just going back to what I said earlier, his collaboration with the cinematographer really helped make The Brutalist shine more than ever. Sean Baker for Anora, fantastic. Coralie, fantastic.
There were certain moments during Anora where like there would be like these like film grain, like slow push-ins from the distance of interiors. And I felt like I was watching Uncut Gems sometimes, man. It was like, wow.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I haven't seen Amelia Perez or Cleo Nunn. The Brutalist does have phenomenal directing. A lot of the different choices, the different setups of shots. You know, I think to like when Adrian and Felicity are laying in the bed together, and just like the close up framing of their faces, and just being able to see the progress of Adrian's feelings coming out, bubbling to the surface. Yeah, just all these chosen shots, but also like the vastness of the empty spaces of, you know, building these grand scale things while also, you know, kind of being alone in those isolated spaces, almost like consumed by the work, right?
That's why 1000%, man, and that's why The Brutalist is so special, because it's such a grand movie for a variety of reasons, in terms of time periods or the length of the movie, in terms of like the internal time. Not that it's 3 hours, but just like you're progressing through somebody's life.
Yeah.
But it's also very personal. You know, some of those personal moments are really breathtaking. A lot of those quiet scene between him and Felicity towards the end really shook me. So I think the direction, just in general, is very special.
Yeah, I think Honori does a really good job of just showcasing the physical toll of the journey. You know, from the starting point to like the relief of the fun times to come, to the stressfulness of the situation you find yourself in, to the overall loneliness by the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Captured very well. And then in regards to the substance, it's so, I described it, it's one of like the best modern iterations of like a B horror classic, but like in with such A+ material brought into it. But then
yeah,
just like a lot of the framing, like I think to like the shot where she's like, she's old and withered, but then she's like booking it down the hallway, and you're just like following, like barreling.
The direction is perfect in substance. Those long hallway shots, immediately I'm like, oh wow, this is going to be one of those special movies. The when the camera's on the floor, zooming in on the back of her little back, and then again the hallway shots, the bathroom shots, the zooming in on certain, when like the eating scene, it's just like the camera is zoomed in on the faces.
It's so intense. I think of the shot when like when her final form's on the stage, and there's just like the one person in the audience who just stands up pointing, screaming, with the harsh zoom in, and it's super camp, and they know what they're doing.
I love it.
It's so good. I love it. And
how do we live in a world where this is nominated for Best Picture and Director? How?
It's beautiful. And then, you know, the framing of the opening and final shot of the star,
perfect. Peak fiction.
Yeah. Peak fiction indeed. With that said, I think it will go to The Brutalist. However, my top choice is a tie between Honori and The Substance.
Oh yeah, those are my three in general. Yeah. To talk a little bit about Emilia Perez, there is a scary shot. Jacques Audiard, French director directing a movie about Mexico, could go to Emilia Perez. There's a scary chance Jacques Audiard could do it, because again, Emilia Perez, in terms of its direction, is very, how do I describe it? Not mesmerizing, but it's very audacious. It's very like out there and unique, and it's like all over the place, for better and for worse. That's the movie in a nutshell. So it's very like, it has some great direction in it and some not so great direction. So, but it's a lot. It's a lot of movie. So I can see them giving it that. James Mangold for A Complete Unknown was the biggest shock one of the bigger shocks of the morning. I was like, James Mangold? Because I thought I was going to go to Edward Berger for Conclave. I knew Edward Berger was on the bubble. I had him as my number 5 spot. I'm like, he could get snubbed out for somebody here. I didn't think it was going to go to James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. I thought it would go to who's my number 5 spot now? I forget who I had. Some people thought the Nickel Boys director, the Sing Sing director. But yeah, I did not predict or John Chu for Wicked. But I did not expect Edward Berger to fall to A Complete Unknown of all things. I think Edward Berger did a way better job than James Mangold. And I'm a James Mangold fan. Logan is one of my all-time favorite top 20 movies ever. I love Logan. But his work on A Complete Unknown, not one of his best, in my opinion. It's very solid,
Mm-hmm.
solid as a rock, but that's about it. It's not, you know, it's not anything super special. And I really, after Edward Berger didn't get nominated for his movie All Quiet on the Western Front, I thought he would get nominated for sure with Conclave, which is getting much more left from the Academy. But that's two losses in the past like 3 years for Edward Berger. I thought he should have got nominated for both his past two movies. So tragic. I thought the direction in Conclave was really, really good. So it's disappointing. But yeah, let's go into Best Picture.
We kind of did already, didn't we?
We kind of did. And I think that's about it. Yeah, so everything got nominated that we talked about. Brutalist, Anora, Conclave, Sing Sing. Or not Sing Sing. Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here was the big shock. Wicked got in. Yeah,
damn.
I would.
Yeah, there's no Sing Sing here. God damn it.
No Sing Sing sucks. Or Real Pain. I had Sing Sing and a Real Pain getting in, and I went 8 out of 10 because Nickel Boys and I'm Still Here got in. But yeah, again, we talked about at the beginning of this whole conversation. One last time, I think Anora could very much win. But I'm fearful of, or I think Anora, Brutalist, or Conclave could easily win. But I'm fearful of Amelia Perez. But yeah, one of those four is winning easily.
I think the Brutalist is a too obvious. That makes sense.
Possibly, yeah. But I've just heard so much complaint about the last act. I'm like, I don't know if people have that as like their number one movie of the year.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, you know, my choice, Conclave.
I would love Conclave. You know, put me up for the General Hux meme. I just wanted Amelia Perez to lose.
There you go.
Even though, again, I don't hate the movie. Out of its nominations, though, out of all the, out of the other nominees on this list, it's easily the worst one that I've seen.
Yeah.
And if I had it my way, The Substance would be winning, or Anora would be winning.
Oh, I thought you were going to name a new nominee.
Or Dune. I mean, what am I talking about? Dune Part 2 would be winning everything.
Where's Nosferatu?
Nosferatu would have been a baller nominee.
That said, in terms of honoring horror, The Substance is like one. If you were to ask me like what's the safest horror movie nomination, it would have been Nosferatu for sure. The fact that they're going in on something as balls to the wall as The Substance is amazing.
Amazing. I couldn't agree more.
But yeah, on that note, Evan, I saw some movies.
Yeah, let's see. I gotta go soon. Let's talk about 2 movies here. We'll save some for the next episode.
Well, we did like drop a lot of discussion on a few things. So, talk Wolfman.
Let's talk Wolfman. Yeah, the movie came out not this weekend, right? No, last weekend. And yeah, we're getting a werewolf movie next year by Robert Eggers, and I think it'll be better than this one. I didn't hate this movie. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think positives out the way. It's a pretty terrifying movie at times. It has some terrifying sequences, especially in-house, literally within the house. The transformation process was very gnarly. I love what they did with in particular, the sound and the visual language of the movie. It is very dark at times, but I think that's it definitely is on purpose to distinguish the transformation that Christopher Abbott is going through. And the sound editing, sound mixing, so good. There's a spider scene. I won't spoil. Just a spider scene.
Yeah,
very well done. So I think the sound stuff worked. Transformation process worked. I wanted them to go more though. I think my main thing was like I wanted them to do more with a movie called The Wolfman. I wanted more Wolfman. You know what I mean?
So yeah, so there was a whole thing where a lot of people got look at
You're cutting out for me.
And Oh no, they were kind of feeling it just looked so different and didn't feel like a werewolf whatsoever. And I was one of those people for sure. However, in terms of Christopher Abbott himself and his transformation, at the initial like midway point, I was like, yes, it is what it is. But then I think by the end of his transformation, I think it all came together in a very solid interpretation of the OG aesthetic of Wolfman, which is like that inherent like humid face with like slightly changed nose, more like the hair slickness.
Yeah, the hair is like the slicker part.
The like oversized like footing and hands with the claws coming out. The detail of like the human nails falling off to sprout the claws was very unsettling.
Yeah, for sure.
Granted, I do like when it goes more heavy on wolf than humanoid looks, because I like the idea of losing yourself into the monster side.
Agreed. And I think again, everything that Lee now did to capture that transformation was not being able to understand your loved ones and them not being able to understand you, and again the whole bloody fingernails, the whole arm thing was like, oh man, this is like deliciously gross. I'm loving this.
I think it's fine to do spoilers at this point.
Okay, yeah, spoiler alert. Spoilers for the Wolfman.
The commitment to the monster side, like he literally to survive chews off his own foot.
Yeah, that was baller.
Gnarly detail, very well done. The way he like hobbles and crawls to get to places. The werewolf vision was interesting. I like it more from the point of view that the deeper you go into this curse, the more you can no longer comprehend the world you once knew, and therefore the loved ones that you're leaving behind. I think that is a very good anchor point of emotion. That was a big thing. I really like the kickoff of first off the prologue when he was younger. I think was a good establishment, and I like how he acts as a father to his daughter in a few scenes. Me, I could always use at least like one more scene with these types of things, but with what we did have, I thought it was nice. Though it does feel like a bummer to like lose the arguably most engaging character to the curse.
Yeah, that was my weakness of this movie, was the emotionality, and if that's a word, the emotion of the movie. And I'm with you. I really liked the father-daughter aspect of this movie. However, as a big Julia Garner fan, her character is extremely underwritten for me. Her main issue is that she's not a good mom. She's not around for her daughter a lot. We're not really seeing that. We're just seeing her work a lot. But I wanted a resolution to that. Not the movie. She's like, I'm not around you a lot. I don't know how to be a good mother to her. She's explaining this to Christopher Abbott. But then when Christopher Abbott starts undergoing the curse and the father-daughter starts diminishing because he has to physically separate himself from his family, that's when Julia Garner is supposed to take charge. And there's an evident switch in the movie where she does take charge. However, I just feel like that whole thematic essence of like her not being a great mother doesn't really get closure at the end. I didn't feel that closeness at the end. Just her helping her daughter out, but it's just like it was more of a survival thing than her helping her daughter out. So I think her character wasn't really that strong, and the whole messaging of the movie with the prologue, like, I don't want to be like my father, and you can immediately tell how different of a parent he is. He's not ruling by fear, he's ruling by compassion and love, always reminding his daughter that he loves her, which made for a fantastic ending where the daughter was the one who could understand, like, he wants to die, mommy, or something like that. He wants to go. He wants you to kill him, basically. That was great. Again, the father-daughter stuff really worked for me. It's just the whole family angle I just really couldn't get attached to throughout this movie. And I don't know what Leigh Whannell was trying to just say. Again, outside of the surface level of like, oh, he's not like his dad. It's like I think he wanted to do something more when he realized that the previous wolf was his dad. It just didn't hit for me. Like I think that was supposed to be a good thematic reveal. Like, oh man, his dad has become the werewolf. Like, I think the movie. I wanted more oomph from the movie.
I think it is a good establishment, like because he does have a quick outburst at the beginning that he immediately rectifies because he establishes he wants to be like that. But then
I would have yelled at her ass too. That was stupid.
Yes.
What was he doing? Like standing on top of a thing?
Yeah, I could have fallen in traffic. You're absolutely right, and it was definitely called for. However, I understand when you're raised in something like that, you don't want to have the feeling, and you don't want ever to be in that position in the first place. Definitely. But I do like the overall journey, which actively fighting to not be the negativity that you were raised in, while also kind of being overtaken by this thing that's making you become this vicious, violent monstrosity, like almost like that inward monster coming out. And then when it is revealed that his father became that very thing and he has literally become what his father has become, it makes it all the more tragic. And I think that's a great service. Like the best part of werewolf stories is the struggle with what this is, which is a curse. I do your humanity. Absolutely. And so from a tragedy aspect, I thought that was very well done. However, when I do come into werewolf stories, I do like finding the similar to like when you watch a Spider-Man, right? When he has to balance the hero life and the Peter Parker life, balancing trying to have a normal human existence and also trying to live with this curse, the active hunt of trying to find a way to break the curse, or realizing you're getting to that point of the month with the full moon, you have to lock yourself away from anybody, and it's just that inherent human need where it would be better if you just isolated yourself from anybody, but like the human in you wants that connectivity. I feel like that bit is lacking a bit. I also found it funny because I was specifically looking, because it's always a big thing in werewolf media, is like full moon. I can't recall one single full moon shot in this entire film.
Me neither. But your statements there make a great point. I like it a lot what you said there. I think it was surprising for me that this movie was a one-night movie. Everything took place in one night. Yeah. I think that was a good idea. But like you said, I think another downside could have been like if it was spread out a bit longer, maybe throughout the weekend, because it was like a weekend camping trip or whatever. If it was spread out for a couple of days, you could have got that longing, that longer transformation process, and that could add a lot more to say than just like rushing it all in one night.
This is kind of like a big mild, because like the classic Universal monsters are kind of built on the whole conclusions where the monster that they become, they end up dying at the end, and it's inexplicably over. Even if they end up bringing them back in some way or another later on, it's just the story tends to end like the monster's dead, hooray, the evil's defeated, even though the tragic person lost in there is also gone. That's effectively what they've gone to do here, which is like, okay, but I feel like there's a sharper story to tell. Even if you're somebody who doesn't like sequels, you can tell compelling arcs of like, okay, like here we are, I have this curse and I have to live with it, and I've been driven away from my family for their safety. That's a sad thing, but I still want a life. There must be a way to stop this curse. Are there rumbling stories? Where can I research, go to the ends of the earth to try to fix this, and then come to an end where you can either get the satisfying conclusion of the cure, or at least like setting up for like anybody else of this similar condition to have hope to carry on as well. The finality of just the tragedy is a bit of a downer when I tend to go into monster movies for like the fun of like, wow, the supernatural, the exploration, it's very engaging. But then when it is just like wasn't that sad? It's like, yes, it was, but can I,
exactly more? Yeah, and that's the big thing again. Just to sum everything up, but I wanted more and wanted more emotion, longer transformations. Even though the transformations were cool, I wanted just a longer thing to just sit with. Everything happened rapidly,
and I think that would be like a compelling thing, right? Like if they chose to do it all one night, but if it was like multiple nights where he is a werewolf from the first night, and then you wake up the next morning like, what happened? What happened? What, someone got hurt outside? What do you mean tracks led to this door? What? Like, realizing what you've done and then trying to cover your tracks to not get caught.
Yeah.
Would have been interesting.
I agree. So in general, I gave it a 3.5 stars.
Me too.
Currently, I think my least favorite movie of the year, but I only saw like 4. I've only seen like 4 movies now at this point.
I've only seen 2.
So yeah, whatever. Pretty solid January in general. It's not a bad movie. It's a very solid movie. It's just, again, I wanted more.
Absolutely. Could you take a few minutes for one more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right on. We both saw this, and spoilers for it. Presents we saw.
Oh, let's talk about Present, number 1 movie of the year.
Me too. Inexplicably, I saw 2 movies.
That's crazy. We saw Nathan's favorite and leaving movies of the year. 2025 is over, folks.
It's over. The world died.
No.
But Evan, I didn't even.
Yeah, spoil the review for the Presents because this gets good.
Yeah, so initially I saw it was like listed, and I was like, okay, and I was like, let me click on this trailer, and my initial thing getting into it wasn't the. I didn't realize what I was seeing at first. I just saw like the initial camera angles and movements were matching in like every point. I only saw like half of the trailer. Never mind the fact that there was credit for Steven Soderbergh, and I was like, let's go. But when I was seeing the way the camera was filmed, I was like, okay, this looks like one take, but also, is this like a thing where like the whole movie's in one take? It's not, but there are long takes. Like it's like a stage play ensemble in a sense. Yeah. I wasn't wholly aware that what I was going into was, this is the point of view of the entity that's haunting this house. I didn't know until
that's right
when it began. Like initially, like it starts out and you're going through like this house, and I'm like, okay, cool, we're establishing the scene, which is what they're doing. But then when you see like the nature of the movement, you're like, oh wait, we're the ghost. That's amazing.
I feel like that was like the big pitch of the movie from the very first trailer or something. I was enthralled about this movie. Yeah. Like Nathan said, you take the point of view of the ghost. We don't know if it's there to curse, to haunt, or whatever. A new family rolls into this mansion and chaos ensues. And yeah, this was an incredible movie. I was really surprised how much I liked it.
And let me say, I think you pretty much get establishment by about like a third of the way through that this ghost is not evil. This isn't an entity that's trying to harm. This is just a soul that is stuck here, but has you see an established caring for the daughter character, and you instantly are like, okay, this ghost is on our side for our well-being. This is great. How is this going to go?
How is this going to go? And I think it ramps up in tension and intrigue, and expertly so. Some small breadcrumbs about the lore, I guess is the right word to say, of the ghost. Especially when we get the not actress's character, but just like the person who can speak to the ghost. She comes in saying a lot of key phrases here about like the reveal at the end. But in general, yeah, it's very protective. There is a mystery angle in why the daughter, who is like kind of like our main character, why is she so upset and down, having to do with the loss of her 2 friends, one more so than the other, but like her 2 friends that were girls, they also died. There were some drugs in their system, and that's kind of like the cause of death, the COD. And she's still dealing with that pain of that loss, and her brother is an asshole who kind of doesn't really understand her, but does like it's really good writing where he comes across as annoying older brother, sometimes very aggressively so, but also it's like he's an older brother. I've seen worse. And the mom, played by Lucy Liu, very great. She's dealing with whole like definitely favoring the son over the daughter, who she can't really connect with. And this dad is January, is January, but like dad of the year. I loved him. He's one of the main characters in This Is Us on NBC that played like a couple years ago. He was fantastic. He was my favorite characters in This Is Us, and he is so good here. He was locked the fuck in. He's locked in.
He's a believer.
He's a believer.
He paid the psychic.
That's what they call it, psychic. And whenever me and Dylan watch supernatural things like this, we're always just like, just believe. If I ever come home and
I was specifically thinking of you because we've had these discussions of just at this point, especially with what you've seen, just believe.
Just believe.
Because we were at a point where like the mom was like, "What? You paid that woman?" And it's like you saw the thing shake. You saw the whole room shake.
We all saw what happened in the son's room. Like that's it. That's it. That seems believing.
My exact thought after she said that and the ghost went to the window, my exact thought as I was watching was, whatever explanation you try to tell yourself is going to fall apart in 3 seconds. You have to believe.
Agreed. And I just love how the whole movie, I'm watching this thinking like, this is the ghost of, for two things actually. I'm trying to find my review of it. There he is. The first thing was, how did this ghost? And I see this every week, guys. I'm a big mystery intrigue guy. So I'm always locked in thinking. And I was the only one in the movie theater. Big auditorium. I was the only one because I saw that at 3:00 on a Friday. Everybody's still at work. So I was audibly talking to myself in the theater, like, okay, so the movie starts off and we're a ghost in this mansion. I know because I saw the trailer that the mansion eventually in 5 minutes is going to get filled with the people coming in. The Asian family. But then the ghost immediately has a connection with the daughter. And the leading suspect of who the ghost is the person the daughter lost, her best friend. That's what I thought it was the whole time. But my question was, like, I couldn't get it out of my head. I'm like, if the ghost was supposed to be the daughter, how did the ghost end up in the house? And the psychic then says like, it doesn't obey present and future. It could be there to protect against something that's going to happen in the future. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's it. But then the ending blew my mind with who the ghost actually is.
That's interesting. I think I had a different interpretation, which was I felt it was her friend. Because just from like a lot of supernatural stuff I watch, whether the ghost is good or not, no, it's not that. It's more like fucking ghost hunters and shit. But like I know that like there's a commonality that like entities can latch onto an individual. They don't just stay in one location. And granted, we usually have that connotation with like evil spirits, not kind ones, but that could absolutely be the case as well. And I thought it was here as well. It's like falling. So whereas at the beginning of the movie, I did initially think the daughter was projecting who she was seeing. I thought it was. And then, because, a lot of times the ghosts are still around because they have unfinished business with how they died. So I felt it was that. And then by the initial ending, by being able to save her in the way by waking up the brother, I think that worked out quite well because it allowed her to stop the cycle, move on, and then now the brother kind of takes the place of being able to say the final goodbye before ascending. However, I do like more what you're saying from because this would benefit a lot on a second viewing with what you're saying, because if it is in fact the brother from future
from the beginning,
in an almost interstellar bookcase like way, purposely targeting him for his asshole nature to be better in the time he has, that is great.
Bingo.
And now my heart is broken even more, Evan. What have you done?
That's how I took it. I was driving home being like, because the key word here, what Lisa Liu says at the very end of the movie, he was trying to save us. like he was trying to save, and it was like a present tense, like that's what he like. She said like he was trying to save us. It is the way she phrased it. I'm just like, oh, he was here the whole time. I think that's what Steven Soderbergh was trying to get here, and I think
I took it on the surface. I took it on the surface because of the final act from the previous scene of his unfortunate
sacrifice.
both going.
That was so. Oh my god, dude, my heart was beating. That whole last act is peak. I wanted him to die so bad, but I didn't know the brother was going to die too. I was like, "Oh wait, no!"
Yeah, that hurt. And granted, they purposely do shots that avoid the mirrors, and I figured that was just to save on camera erasure for VFX. But I think that absolutely tracks of the grand reveal for it being the brother himself. Because then, what would be the point of hiding the friend, and why couldn't you show her, right? Like if it is all just the brother, then that just makes it like such a top-notch reveal.
Yeah, I think it was just all the brother.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it was all just the brother, and the way he was like upset at the brother for being an asshole at times and not believing her. It's him recollecting with like, man, I was so mean to my sister. Why didn't I just believe her? I'm gonna mess up my room just to get it, just to like punish myself or just like shake myself literally to come to terms with this. And the doctor gave a lot of hints. I think the doctor really pretty much like escalates the reveal that it's the brother the whole time by saying like, some ghosts come back because there's like unfinished business, and there's something that they need to prevent or something they need to do in the future. It hasn't happened yet. In tenant terms, like it hasn't happened yet, but it's something bad is going to happen, and that's why the ghost is there. And that something bad that was going to happen was, the sister's boyfriend, trying to, rape her, and just it was very disgusting. Drug her, and I just love that entire sequence. The way the framing of the shaking, like shaking the camera to wake somebody up, the shaking was just so cool.
Yeah.
And it woke him up, and
you're still shouting. The limitations of like not being in the living plane. It's so well done. God, I love it. It really with just like talking about it more, it's gonna be hard to knock this out of my top 10, if not 5, probably.
Wow, already,
and it's number 1 right now.
Yeah, it's number 1 for me. It was, I'm very excited for Companion next week. I think that's gonna be a great horror thriller. Might have some camp as well.
That's my guess. That's my guess is what's playing tomorrow at the Screen Unseen for theaters.
Yeah, it's going to be campy though. I saw the trailer; it has like some funny moments to it. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see that. But like this movie, the ending, just thinking over like if it was a brother the whole time, that really elevated every single scene in the movie for me, even more so on recollection. The family dynamic was very like raw, and it felt very just smart. There was nothing super like cheesy or convenient. I loved the parenting, the flawed nature of the sibling and parent dynamics. I thought the sister was really good. Lucy Liu, great as always. That breakdown at the end is very chilling. Man. So yeah, this movie really fucking me.
The shot of the ascension when he exits the house finally is wow.
Again, the brother's like, my job here is done. My job here is done. I've saved my sister. And yeah, man, it was that was peak. Crazy. So yeah.
Dude.
That's about it. You guys can find me on Twitter, Harris EV9. Upcoming stuff. Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is coming out this Friday, the first 2 episodes. Then after that, I think there'll be in batches of 3, I think, for a total of 10 episodes.
It has already been greenlit for the 3rd season.
For a 3rd season. Season 2 is already coming out probably next year. But yeah, they said the script for season 3 is currently being written. The script for season 2 is already done. So That's exciting. I know people are still like, this animation sucks. Like, just watch the story.
It's like, growing on me,
guys. It's growing on me too. It's like I haven't watched so much animated shit. I'm like, just grow to love different animation styles, guys. Not everything's gonna be your cup of tea. Like, bad animation doesn't mean a bad show.
Yeah, it was an awkwardly edited reveal trailer, but then I saw the clip of the spider bite that they released, and I think it flows very well. I think it looks good.
Yeah, remember when people were like X-97 looks bad, and then guess what? So like
amazing.
So people are just like, animation looks different, guys. Just watch and see what the story is. I've seen a lot of reviews saying like it's actually a really good show. So I'm excited for that. I'm halfway through What If, so I'll be doing a review on What If the next time we podcast here on T. So yeah, find me on Twitter again, Harris EV9. And if you are still around here at 2 hours 35 minutes, thank you. Like and subscribe. Go watch Castlevania and Castlevania Nocturne on Netflix. I want that season 3 badly.
There you go. Follow me _TimeBlazer, making a show called Time Blazer, co-star and creator with Evan Harris,
who plays the character of Ben, who also watched a lot of the Oscar movies in his universe too. He's a very big Oscar guy.
Could be.
Right? Could be. I think so.
He's for sure an anime guy. He's for sure an anime guy.
He's sure an anime guy, yeah.
So, yeah, that being said, do what Evan said. I hope you have a great day. Catch you guys next time.